Kiddo. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. It's me, Kuku, Kaeru. How you all doing? We're listening to some music. Hello. I am tired. I'm gonna put my glasses on. Oh, wait, hold on. Are we getting an ad? Oh, okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to fix this. I'm running the Discworld 1 game in the background, but apparently the guy who uploaded this 7.5 hour playthrough, he thought he could be sneaky, and he could put ads through there. Well, little did he know that I actually have. Hi, Namba. Hi, hello, Oxide 2. Hello, how are you? Little does he know that I have a browser. There we go. So now we can watch this without ad interruptions. So I'm gonna have this running in the background. This is the original Discworld game on the PlayStation 1. So we're gonna have that running in the background while I'm reading. And we have some really cool music. We have some nice music from the Wizard's Library, Magical Fantasy Music and Ambience. The Wizard's Tome. There we go. A Winter's Night by Etienne Rosel. Let's loop this. The Wind is Changing by Howard Harper Barnes. A bunch of cool wizard music. Hope it's not too loud. I can lower the volume if you guys want me to. If it's difficult hearing me. I'm not going to be reading very loudly. I'm going to be reading very quietly. And did I take my painkiller? I was supposed to take a painkiller. I don't know if I did. Because I got an ulcer. I got an ulcer on my lip. I might actually have to go get the painkiller because I gotta take it. I got some tea though, and I got some water. So I'm gonna start very soon. I'll just go get myself my painkiller. I'll be right. I was gonna do painting today, but I kind of didn't feel like it. I bought the whatever they're called, the gang that I was showing off before. I bought a box of those, and I have some minis I gotta paint for my colleague, but I'm gonna paint them after stream, and I'm gonna do it while I'm listening to something nice, because I'm very tired. It's been a long week, but I'm very happy to be here with all of you and to do a stream. I'll show you the result of these paintings when I'm done. There are some seams on these things because they're very cheap, but he told me I didn't need to file down the seams, so I'll just paint it. I think I did a pretty good job. I did a brushed on foundation, or brushed on primer, Vallejo's Black 73.602. It's very, very good. I don't like spraying on primer. I like brushing primer on because I feel like I have more control over it. But I did put it on pretty thick because this plastic that these things were made of is not very good at having the primer stick to it, so I needed to do a couple extra layers. Anyway, I'm gonna go get my painkillers. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Hello, I got my painkiller. Hello. That's some good tea. I decided that everyone who's been around since my past life are gonna get VIP. Because you guys, you're the real ones, you know? I love you. Thank you so much for sticking around with me. So I'm gonna be reading a book called Guards by Terry Pratchett. And it's a really good book. I'm gonna read the back of it first, which is, "This is where the dragons went. They lie, not dead, not asleep, but dormant. And although the space they occupy isn't like normal space, nevertheless, they are packed in tightly. They could put you in mind of a can of sardines, if you thought sardines were huge and scaly. And presumably, somewhere, there's a key." Wow, it's about dragons. and it's about this really cool fantasy city called Ankh-Morpork. So if you're not familiar with Discworld, there's like almost 40 books of it out, I think. Terry Pratchett sadly is dead, but as you can see in the background, basically Discworld is a disc that's carried on the back of 4 elephants who are standing on the back of Great Atuin, a turtle flying through space. And Great Atuin doesn't really seem to... Well, Great Atuin knows where it's going. It's hotly debated whether Great Atuin is male or female. Oh, you can't be VIP and mod at this... Oh, no. Okay, I gotta slash mod you again. I'm so sorry, Oxide. You'll always be VIP in my heart. There we go. I gave you mod rights back. Sorry. But Discworld is like a satire. It started out as pretty much like your usual D&D parody, but then it kind of really grew into a sort of it's like a humorous reflection on modern society in a fantasy setting. It's really hard. Pardon me. It's really hard to kind of pin down Discworld because it's like, what if this happened in a fantasy world? Like, what if the fantasy world got the internet, for example? Or what if a fantasy world discovered how to make movies? Or what if a fantasy world had a banking system, basically? So it's like a bunch of different scenarios. It kind of really depends on which main character you're following, because there's a bunch of different characters in Discworld series. So my favorites are the City Watch. They start out as Night Watch, but over time they become the City Watch. And the City Watch, they are sort of, it's like a police procedure kind of series, and we get to follow them as the City Watch evolve and new characters are added and stuff. It's really fun, and there's a lot of good books. And the main character kind of starts out as a guy called Carrot, but eventually Vimes becomes the main character, and he will become the commander of the City Watch. It's really cool. But there's also the Witches. Those were the first books I read. They're called Granny Weatherwax, Nana Og, and I can never remember the third one. It's been a long time since I read Discworld books, to be honest. I haven't read them in really, really long. And this one especially, Guards, I don't think I've read it in like 15 years at least. I don't even think I've listened to the audiobook. I have this. It's very, very... It's like brown. The book's like brown, has been sun bleached. I think I bought this when I was in England on my language course. I'm pretty sure I bought it in the UK. It's a really, really good book. I love it. It's very funny. Terry Pratchett also made he made Good Omen with Neil Gaiman. He and Neil Gaiman were good friends. And what I really like about Terry Pratchett is that he was a journalist by profession. He was an investigative journalist, so he was very like on top of social issues. So a lot of his books are like metaphors and allegories for social issues. And he makes it really fun. He doesn't like aggressively point at certain classes of people and be like, these people are bad people or these people are good people. He's just like, this is happening. And isn't it kind of weird? And I like Pratchett. He does it in a really British way, his writing. And I think they're very timeless. So this is technically the 8th book in the Discworld series. But there are... this is the first City Watch book. So the city of Ankh-Morpork, which is where this takes place, it's kind of like the city of... the one in Hungary. That's like 2 cities on either side of a river. What is that city called again? Hungarian City River. Not Danube. City... Budapest. Yes, it's like Budapest, basically, Ankh-Morpork. And it's at the very end of the river Ankh. And it's very, like, the river is super polluted, so you can't really even swim in the river. A lot of this stuff he tells you. But Ankh-Morpork has been around for a while. It's been around since the first book. And there's the Unseen University with the wizards in it. And there's the patrician veterinary, who's like he's the de facto ruler, because there is no king. There used to be a king, there's a throne, but there's no king, so there is the patrician who rules the city. In the background right now is the Unseen University, where all the wizards study, but mostly eat big dinners. That's what wizards do. So, Guards, Terry Pratchett. dedication. Also, if you have any questions or anything, just let me know. I am keeping an eye on the chat, so if something is unclear, you can just poke me, or if I need to reread or if I'm reading too fast. Dedication. They may be called the Palace Guard, the City Guard, or the Patrol. Whatever the name, their purpose in any work of heroic fantasy is identical. It is, round about chapter 3, or 10 minutes into the film, to rush into the room, attack the hero, one at a time, and be slaughtered. No one ever asks them if they wanted to. This book is dedicated to those fine men. And also to Mike Harrison, Mary Gentle, Neil Gaiman, and all the others who assisted with and laughed at the idea of L-Space. Too bad we never used Schrodinger's paperback. L-Space is library space. We'll get into that later. I'm drinking very hot tea, so I'm going to try to make sure I don't... Ooh, the spoon got hooked on the microphone cable. There we go. This is where the dragons went. They lie. Not dead. Not asleep. Not waiting. Because waiting implies expectation. Possibly, the word we're looking for here is dormant. And although the space they occupy isn't like normal space, nevertheless, they are packed in tightly. Not a cubic inch there, but is filled by a claw, a talon, a scale, the tip of a tail. So the effect is like one of those trick drawings, and your eyeballs eventually realize that the space between each dragon is, in fact, another dragon. They could put you in mind of a can of sardines if you thought sardines were huge and scaly and proud and arrogant. And presumably, somewhere, there's the key. In another space entirely, it was early morning in Ankh-Morpork, oldest and greatest and grubbiest of cities. A thin drizzle dripped from the grey sky and punctuated the river mist that coiled among the streets. Rats of various species went about their nocturnal occasions. Under night's damp cloak, assassins assassinated, thieves thieved, hussies hustled, and so on. And drunken Captain Vimes of the Night Watch staggered slowly down the street, folded gently into the gutter outside the watch house, and lay there while, above him, strange letters made of light sizzled in the damp and changed color. The city was a name, thing, woman. That's what it was. Woman. Roaring, ancient, centuries old, strung you along, let you fall in love with her, then kicked you in a thingy in your mouth, tongue, tonsils, teeth. That's what she did. She was a thing, lady dog, puppy, hen, bitch. And then you hated her, and just when you thought you'd got her out of your whatever, then she opened her great booming rotten heart to you, caught you off thing, ants. Yes, that's it. Never knew where you stood. Lay. Only thing you were sure of, you couldn't let her go, because she was yours, all you had, even in her gutters. Damp darkness shrouded the venerable building of Unseen University, Premier College of Wizardry. The only light was a faint octarine flicker from the tiny windows of the new high-energy magic building, where keen-edged minds were probing the very fabric of the universe, whether it liked it or not. That was my stomach making a girly noise. And there was light, of course, in the library. The library was the greatest assemblage of magical texts anywhere in the multiverse. Thousands of volumes of occult lore weighted its shelves. It was said that, since vast amounts of magic can seriously distort the mundane world, the library did not obey the normal rules of space and time. It was said that it went on forever. It was said that you could wander for days among the distant shelves, that there were lost tribes of research students somewhere in there, that strange things lurked in forgotten alcoves and were preyed on by other things that were even stranger. Annotation: all this was untrue. The truth is that even big collections of ordinary books distort space, as can readily be proven by anyone who has been around a really old-fashioned second-hand bookshop, one of those that look as though they were designed by M.C. Escher on a bad day, and has more staircases than stories, and those rows of shelves which end in little doors that are surely too small for a full-sized human to enter. The relevant equation is knowledge equals power equals energy equals matter equals mass. A good bookshop is just a genteel black hole that knows how to read. So Terry Pratchett is kind of famous for his annotations. So that was the first one, talking about the genteel black holes that can read. Bookshops. Wise students in search of more distant volumes took care to leave chalk marks on the shelves as they roamed deeper into the fusty darkness, and told friends to come looking for them if they weren't back by supper. And because magic can only loosely be bound, the library books themselves were more than mere pulped wood and paper. Raw magic crackled from their spines, earthing itself harmlessly in the copper rails nailed to every shelf for that very purpose. Faint traceries of blue fire crawled across the bookcases, and there was a sound, a papery whispering, such as might come from a colony of roosting starlings. In the silence of the night, the books talked to one another. There was also the sound of someone snoring. The light from the shelves didn't so much illuminate as highlight the darkness, but by its violet flicker, a watcher might just have identified an ancient and battered desk right under the central dome. The snoring was coming from underneath it, where a piece of tattered blanket barely covered what looked like a heap of sandbags, but was in fact an adult male orangutan. It was the librarian. Not many people these days remarked upon the fact that he was an ape. The change had been brought about by a magical accident, always a possibility where so many powerful books are kept together, and he was considered to have got off lightly. After all, he was still basically the same shape, and he had been allowed to keep his job, which he was rather good at, although allowed is not really the right word. It was the way he could roll his upper lip back to reveal more incredibly yellow teeth than any other mouth the University Council had ever seen before that somehow made sure the matter was never really raised. But now there was another sound, the alien sound of a door creaking open. Footsteps padded across the floor and disappeared amongst the clustering shelves. The books rustled indignantly, and some of the larger grimoires rattled their chains. The librarian slept on, lulled by the whispering of the rain. In the embrace of his gutter, half a mile away, Captain Vimes of the Night Watch opened his mouth and started to sing. He's gonna drink a little bit. Now a black-robed figure scurried through the midnight streets, ducking from doorway to doorway, and reached a grim and forbidden portal. No mere doorway got that grim without effort, one felt. It looked as though the architect had been called in and given specific instructions. We want something eldritch, in dark oak, he'd been told. So put an unpleasant gargoyle thing over the archway, give it a slam like the footfall of a giant, and make it clear to everyone, in fact, that this isn't the kind of door that goes ding-dong when you press the bell. The figure rapped a complex code on the dark woodwork. A tiny barred hatch opened, and one suspicious eye peered out. "The significant owl hoots in the night," said the visitor, trying to wring the rainwater out of its robes. "Yet many grey lords go sadly to the masterless men," intoned a voice on the other side of the grill. "Hooray! Hooray for the spinster's sister's daughter," countered the dripping figure. "To the axeman, all supplicants are the same height." "Yet verily the rose is within the thorn." "The good mother makes bean soup for the errand boy," said the voice behind the door. There was a pause, broken only by the sound of the rain, and then the visitor said, "What?" "The good mother makes bean soup for the errand boy." There was another, longer pause. Then the damp figure said, "Are you sure the ill-built tower doesn't tremble mightily at a butterfly's passage?" "Nope, bean soup it is, I'm sorry." The rain hissed down relentlessly in the embarrassed silence. "What about the caged whale?" said the soaking visitor, trying to squeeze into what little shelter the dread portal offered. "What about it?" "It should know nothing of the mighty deeps, if you must know." "Oh, the caged whale! You want the elucidated brethren of the Ebonite, the 3 doors down." "Who are you, then?" "We're the illuminated and ancient brethren of E." "I thought you met over in Treacle Street," said the damp man after a while. "Yes, well, you know how it is. The Fretwork Club have the rooms Tuesdays. There was a bit of a mix-up." "Oh? Well, thanks anyway." "My pleasure." The little door slammed shut. The robed figure glared at it for a moment, and then splashed further down the street. There was indeed another portal there. The builder hadn't bothered to change the design much. He knocked. The little barred hatch shot back. "Yes?" "Look, the significant owl hoots in the night, all right?" "Yet many grey lords go sadly to the masterless men." "Hooray, hooray for the spinster's sister's daughters." "Okay." To the axemen all supplicants are the same height, yet verily the rose is within the thorns. It's pissing down out here. You do know that, don't you?" "Yes," said the voice, and the tones of one who indeed does know it, and is not the one standing in it. The visitor sighed. "The caged whale knows nothing of the mighty deeps," he said, "if it makes you any happier." "The ill-built tower trembles mightily at a butterfly's passage." The supplicant grabbed the bars of the window, pulled himself up to it, and hissed, "Now let us in, I'm soaked." There was another damp pause. "These deeps, did you say mighty or nightly?" "Mighty," I said. "Mighty deeps. On account of being, deep. It's me, Brother Fingers." "It sounded nightly to me," said the invisible doorkeeper cautiously. "Look, do you want the bloody book or not? I don't have to do this. I could be at home in bed." "You sure it was mighty?" "Listen, I know how deep the bloody deeps are, all right?" said Brother Fingers urgently. "I knew how mighty they were when you were a perishing neophyte. Will you open this door?" "Well, all right." There was the sound of bolts sliding back. Then the voice said, "Would you mind giving it a push? The door of knowledge through which the untutored may not pass sticks something wicked in the damp." Brother Fingers put his shoulder to it, forced his way through, gave Brother Doorkeeper a dirty look, and hurried within. The others were waiting for him in the inner sanctum, standing around with the sheepish air of people not normally accustomed to wearing sinister, hooded black robes. The Supreme Grand Master nodded at him. "Brother Fingers, is it?" "Yes, Supreme Grand Master." "Do you have that which you were sent to get?" Brother Fingers pulled a package from under his robe. "Just where I said it would be," he said. "No problem." "Well done, Brother Fingers." "Thank you, Supreme Grand Master." The Supreme Grand Master rapped his gavel for attention, and the room shuffled into some sort of circle. "I call the unique and supreme lodge of the elucidated brethren to order," he intoned. "Is the door of knowledge sealed fast against heretics and knowless men?" "Stuck solid," said Brother Doorkeeper. "It's the damp. I'll bring my plane in next week, soon have it." All right, said the Supreme Grandmaster testily. "Just a yes would have done. Is the triple circle well and truly traced? Art all here who art here? And it be well for a knowless man, that he should not be here, for he would be taken from this place, and his gaskin slit, his moles shown to the four winds, his welched torn asunder with many hooks, and his figgin placed upon a spike." Yes, what is it?" "Sorry, did you say elucidated, brethren?" The Supreme Grand Master glared at the solitary figure with his hand up. "Yeah, the elucidated brethren, guardian of the sacred knowledge, since a time no man may wot of." "Last February," said Brother Doorkeeper helpfully. The Supreme Grandmaster felt that Brother Doorkeeper had never really got the hang of things. Sorry, said the worried figure. "Wrong society, I'm afraid. Must have taken a wrong turning. I'll just be going, if you'll excuse me." "And his figgin placed upon a spike," repeated the Supreme Grandmaster pointedly, against a background of damp wooden noises, as Brother Doorkeeper tried to get the dread portal open. "Are we quite finished? Any more knowless men happen to drop in on their way somewhere else?" he added with bitter sarcasm. "Right. Fine. So glad. I suppose it's too much to ask if the 4 watchtowers are secured." Good. And the trousers of sanctity? Has anyone bothered to shrive it?" Someone is drilling. That was not me farting. Someone is drilling. "Oh, you did? Properly? I'll check, All right. And have the windows been fastened with a red cord of intellect, in accordance with ancient prescriptions? Good. Now perhaps we can get on with it." With a slightly miffed air of one who has run their fingers along a daughter-in-law's top shelf and found against all expectations that it is sparkling clean, the Grandmaster got on with it. What a shower, he told himself. A bunch of incompetents no other secret society would touch with a 10-foot scepter of authority, the sort to dislocate their fingers with even the simplest secret handshake. But incompetence with possibilities, nevertheless. Let the other societies take the skilled, the hopefuls, the ambitious, the self-confident. He'd take the whining, resentful ones, the ones with a bellyful of spite and bile. Does the microphone pick that up? Someone is drilling. Give him the ones in which the floods of venom and vindictiveness were dammed up behind thin walls of ineptitude and low-grade paranoia. And stupidity, too. They've all sworn the oath, he thought, but not a man jack of 'em has ever asked what a figgin is. "Brethren," he said, "tonight we have matters of profound importance to discuss. The good governance, nay, the very future of Ankh-Morpork lies in our hands." They leaned closer. The Supreme Grandmaster felt the beginnings of the old thrill of power. They were hanging on his words. This was a feeling worth dressing up in bloody silly robes for. Do we not well know that the city is in the thralls to corrupt men who wax fat on their ill-gotten gains, while better men are held back and forced into virtual servitude? We certainly do, said Brother Doorkeeper vehemently, when they'd had time to translate this mentally. Only last week, down at the Bakers Guild, I tried to point out to Master Crixley that it wasn't eye contact, because the Supreme Grand Master had made sure the Brethren's hood shrouded their faces in mystic darkness. But nevertheless he managed to silence Brother Doorkeeper by dint of sheer outraged silence. Yet it was not always thus, the Supreme Grand Master continued. There was once a golden age when those worthy of command and respect were justly rewarded. An age when Ankh-Morpork wasn't simply a big city, but a great one. An age of chivalry. An age when... Yes, Brother Watchtower. A bulky robed figure lowered its hands. Hello, New and Tasty. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. We're reading Discworld. Hope you're doing well. A bulky robed figure lowered its hands. Are you talking about when we had kings? Thank you, Human Error. Thank you for the stretch and the drink. Thank you. Can I have a drink? Thank you very much. Are you talking about when we used to have kings? Well done, brother, said the Supreme Grand Master, slightly annoyed at this unusual evidence of intelligence. But that was all sorted out hundreds of years ago, said Brother Watchtower. Wasn't there this great battle or something? And since then we've just had the ruling lords, like the patrician. Yes, very good, Brother Watchtower. There aren't any more kings, is the point I'm trying to make, said Brother Watchtower helpfully. As Brother Watchtower says, the line of... of all the times to be drilling, they're drilling today. It was you talking about chivalry that gave me the clue, said Brother Watchtower. Quite so, and... You get that with kings, chivalry, said Brother Watchtower happily. And knights, and they used to have these. However, said the Supreme Grand Master sharply, it may well be that the line of the kings of Ankh is not as defunct as hitherto imagined. My stomach is mighty upset. Let me... There we go. Boop. Okay. Let's keep going. However, said the Supreme Grandmaster sharply, it may well be that the line of kings of Ankh is not as defunct as hitherto imagined, and that progeny of the line exists even now. Thus my researches among the ancient scrolls do indicate. He stood back expectantly. There didn't seem to be the effect he'd expected, however. Probably they can't manage defunct, he thought, but I ought to have drawn the line at progeny. Brother Watchtower had his hand up again. Yes? You saying there's some sort of heir to the throne hanging around somewhere? Said Brother Watchtower. This may be the case, yes. Yeah, they do that, you know, said Brother Watchtower knowledgeably. Happens all the time. You read about it. Scions, they're called. They go lurking around in the distant wilderness for ages, handing down the secret sword and birthmark and so forth from generations to generations. And just when the old kingdom needs them, they'll turn up and turf out any usurpers that happen to be around. And then there's general rejoicing. The Supreme Grand Master felt his own mouth drop open. He hadn't expected it to be as easy as this. Yes, all right, said a figure the Supreme Grand Master knew to be Brother Plasterer. But so what? Let's say a scion turns up, walks up to the patrician, says, "What ho, I'm king, here's the birthmark as per suck, now bugger off." What's he got then? Life expectancy of maybe 2 minutes, that's what. "You don't listen," said Brother Watchtower. "The thing is, the scion has to arrive when the kingdom is threatened, doesn't he? And everyone can see, right? Then he gets carried off to the palace, kills a few people, announces a half-holiday, hands around a bit of treasure, and bumps your uncle." "He has to marry a princess too," said Brother Doorkeeper, "on account of him being a swineherd." They looked at him. "Who said anything about him being a swineherd?" said Brother Watchtower. "I never said he was a swineherd. What's this about swineherds?" "He's got a point, though," said Brother Plasterer. "He's generally a swineherd or a forester or similar. Your basic scion, I mean. It's to do with being in what's name? Cognito. They got to appear to be off, humble origins." "Nothing special about humble origins." "No, that's another one. Nothing special about humble origins," said a very small brother, who seemed to consist entirely of a little perambulatory black robe with halitosis. "I've got lots of humble origins. In my family, we thought swineherding was a posh job." "But your family doesn't have the blood of kings, Brother Dunnikin," said Brother Plasterer. "We might have," said Brother Dunnikin sulkily. "What then?" said Brother Watchtower grudgingly. "Fair enough. But at the essential moment, see your genuine kings throw back their cloaks and say, 'Lo!' and their essential kinglessness shines through." "How exactly?" said Brother Doorkeeper. "Might have got the blood of kings," muttered Brother Dunnikin. "Got no right saying I might not have got the blood of—" "Look, it just does, okay? You just know it when you see it." "But before that, they've got to save the kingdom," said Brother Plasterer. "Oh, yes," said Brother Watchtower heavily. "That's the main thing, is that?" "What from, then?" "Got as much right as anyone might have to the bloody kings." This is a little bit hard to read, different voices. "The patrician?" said Brother Doorkeeper. Brother Watchtower, as the sudden authority on the ways of royalty, shook his head. "I don't know what the patrician is a threat exactly," he said. "He's not your actual tyrant as such, not as bad as some we've had. I mean, he doesn't actually oppress." "I get oppressed all the time," said Brother Doorkeeper. "Master Crickley, where I work, he oppresses me morning, noon, and night, shouting at me and everything. And the woman in the vegetable shop, she oppresses me all the time." "Thank you, Nombrow, thank you." "That's right," said Brother Plasterer. "My landlord oppresses me something wicked, banging on the door and going on and on about all the rent I allegedly owe, which is a total lie. And the people next door oppress me all night long. I tell them I work all day. A man's got to have some time to learn to play the tuba. That's oppression, that is. If I'm not under the heel of the oppressor, I don't know who is." Put like that, said Brother Watchtower slowly. "I reckon my brother-in-law is oppressing me all the time with having this new horse and buggy he's been and bought. I haven't got one. I mean, where's the justice in that? I bet a king wouldn't let that sort of oppression go on. People's wives oppressing them with why they haven't got a new coach like a Rodney or that." The Supreme Grand Master listened to this with a slightly light-headed feeling. It was as if he'd known that there were such things as avalanches, but had never dreamed, when he dropped the little snowball on top of the mountain, that it could lead to such astonishing results. He was hardly having to egg them on at all. "I bet a king to have something to say about landlords," said Brother Plasterer. "And he'd outlaw people with showy coaches," said Brother Watchtower. "Probably bought it with stolen money too, I reckon." "I think," said the Supreme Grand Master, tweaking things a little, "that a wise king would only, as it were, outlaw showy coaches for the undeserving." There was a thoughtful pause in the conversation as the assembled brethren mentally divided the universe into the deserving and the undeserving, and put themselves on the appropriate side. "It'd be only fair," said Brother Watchtower slowly. "But Brother Plaster was right, really. I can't see a scion manifesting his destiny just because Brother Doorkeeper thinks the woman in the vegetable shop keeps giving him funny looks. No offense." "And bloody short weight," said Brother Doorkeeper. "And she—" Yes, said the Supreme Grand Master, Truly, the right-thinking folk of Ankh-Morpork are beneath the heel of the oppressors. However, a king generally reveals himself in rather more dramatic circumstances, like a war, for example. Things were going well, surely. For all their self-centered stupidity, one of them would be bright enough to make the suggestion. There used to be some old prophecy or something, said Brother Plaster. My granddad told me. His eyes glazed with the effort of dramatic recall. Yeah, the king will come bringing law and justice, and know nothing but the truth, and protect and serve the people with his sword. You don't all have to look at me like that. I didn't make it up. Oh, we all know that one, and a fat lot of good that'd be. Oh, there's so many voices. Oh, we all know that one, and a fat lot of good that'd be, said Brother Watchtower. I mean, what does it do? Ride in with law and truth and so on like the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Hello, everyone, he squeaked. I'm the king, and that's Truth over there watering his horse. Not very practical, is it? No, I can't trust the old legends. Why not? Said Brother Dunnikin in a peeved voice. 'Cause they're legendary. That's how you can tell, said Brother Watchtower. Sleeping princesses is a good one, said Brother Plasterer. Only a king can wake 'em up. Don't be daft, said Brother Watchtower severely. We haven't got a king, so we can't have a princess. Stands to reason. Of course, in the old days, it was easy, said Brother Doorkeeper happily. Why? Oh, he just had to kill a dragon.
What the fuck?
Bunsayan, welcome. Hello, everybody. Have some bread. Have some bread. Thank you. It's a Have Some Bread raid. Thank you so much for raiding. How are you doing? What were you doing? Hello, Bunsayan, Riverish channel. Hello, welcome everybody. Pokonsu. Hello. I'ma give a shout out to. Thank you so much for raiding. I really appreciate it. How you doing? I am Kuku Kaeru. I'm a Swedish tree frog. Thank you everybody for coming. I'm reading Discworld right now. Oh, thank you. This is actually that's really sweet of you. Thank you, Pokonsu. I'm gonna show you. I have an upcoming design for the future. I'm gonna find it. Oh my goodness! Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Frogregation. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll show you my upcoming design. I just need to find it. Let's see here. Reference. Oh my god! Thank you for the follow. Welcome, Rivari's channel. Thank you for the follow. And was it Poconso that followed too? I'm sorry, I missed it. Let me check. Oh my goodness! Bansian too. Thank you. Let me show you. Bansayan, thank you. This is my upcoming design. Small sheet that my artist made. I'm actually a cyborg. I'm actually a froggy cyborg. See this little Tamagotchi? I'm inside that. I used to be a normal household frog, but then I got put in a microwave and went kablooey, and they had to put me in a prototype cyborg body so I would survive, and now I work as a bodyguard and a housekeeper. Thank you for reading. I'm gonna give you a tarot card reading because I really appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, the art style. Yeah, it's a very nice art style. It's gonna look a little bit different, the model, but that's the model sheet. So, Bansian, I want you to give me a number between 1 and 5, or from 1 and 5, and give me a question for the cards, and I'll give you a reading. Thank you so much for reading. We got Discworld running in the background, the original game for the PlayStation. And I'm reading Cards, which is a really good book by Terry Pratchett. Yeah, I'm gonna do a tarot card reading. Okay, about your career. 3 and about your career. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. So, the first card is gonna be the situation we're starting out in, which is... okay, that is the reversed 10 of Swords. Not exactly a good card, but I guess it's a good starting point because it can't get much worse than that. So, the Suit of Swords, this is from the Minor Arcana. They're cards that represent air, and they're about the balance of power, the balance of spirit and feeling, and it's about leadership. It's about anger, guilt, and harsh judgment, but also about force and power, and ambition and courage. So it's a very strong suit of cards. Now, the Ten of Swords is basically a person lying dead with 10 swords in them. So you can kind of imagine what sort of meaning that one has. Usually it stands for painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, or crisis. However, now this is the good thing. Because we got a reverse card, it's actually not that bad. So basically, right now you're in a position of recovery. It means that you might have been really burnt out, or you might be building something up from the beginning. Maybe you changed careers recently, or maybe you just got into the working market, or maybe you're it could also be that you're resisting an inevitable end. So maybe you're fighting to keep things as like sorry, I got a text. I'm gonna mute my okay, there we go, muted it. This card is kind of about recovering from a really precarious situation or really bad situation. So it's quite possible that's sort of where you're coming from. And then moving forward, the biggest threat that's facing you is the World reversed. Now the World is a card from the Major Arcana, and the World, I mean, it literally stands for everything. It is completion. It's about integration. It's about travel. It's about accomplishment. It's basically holistically everything. But when this card is reversed, it stands for shortcuts or seeking personal closure, which means that the issue that's going to be facing you is that you're going to be presented with a bunch of shortcuts to be successful in your career. It might be that you'll be tempted by like easy gains, but you should be careful because they might delay you when you're moving forward. So you gotta make sure that you do things a proper way. Otherwise, you might actually get delayed by these shortcuts. Oh, and if you keep this in mind and move forward, you will get the reverse Chariot. Now, the Chariot usually is another Major Arcana. It usually goes for someone who's very focused, has a lot of control and willpower, and knows where they're going. But when this card is reversed, it instead stands for lack of direction. But in this case, I think it might be more about self-discipline and opposition. So it's gonna be tough moving forward with your career, and you're gonna have to make sure you keep your mind clear and focused. There will be some opposition against you. It could be other people, but it could also be opposition from challenges, or maybe a lack of direction. Maybe you don't exactly know how to progress in terms of your career. But if you keep in mind that you shouldn't be taking shortcuts and you do your best, then things are gonna be okay. I think just keep at it. Just persevere. Just keep your eyes looking forward. Keep your eyes on the goal. Thank you again so much for raiding. If you want to hang around, you can. And welcome to the Frogregation. Hope you're having a really, really good. I saw the price exactly. Hope you're having a really good weekend. Thank you so much for raiding. I really appreciate it. So we're reading the beginning of Terry Pratchett's Guards, and it's a secret society talking about bringing back kings. Okay, let's see here. Yeah. Don't be daft, said Brother Watchtower severely. We haven't got a king, so we can't have princesses. Stands to reason. Of course, in the old days, it was easy, said Brother Doorkeeper happily. Why? Why, he just had to kill a dragon. The Supreme Grandmaster clapped his hands together and offered a silent prayer to any god who happened to be listening. Hello, Timis. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. He'd been right about these people. Sooner or later, their rambling little minds took them where you wanted them to go. What an interesting idea, he trilled. Wouldn't work, said Brother Watchtower dourly. There ain't no big dragons, no. There could be. The Supreme Grandmaster cracked his knuckles. Come again? I said there could be. There was a nervous laugh from the depth of Brother Watchtower's cowl. What? The real thing? Great big scales and wings? Yes. Breath like a blast furnace? Yes. Them big claws things on his feet? Talons? Oh yes, as many as you want. Hello. Is that a thumbs up? Thank you.
What do you mean as many as I want?
I would hope it's self-explanatory, Brother Watchtower. If you want dragons, you can have dragons. You can bring a dragon here, now, into the city.
Me?
All of you, I mean us, said the Supreme Grandmaster. Brother Watchtower hesitated.
Well, I don't know if that's a very good...
And it would obey your every command. And that stopped them. That pulled them up. That dropped in front of their weaselly little minds like a lump of meat in a dog pound. Can you just repeat that? Said Brother Plasterer slowly. You can control it. You can make it do whatever you want.
What, a real dragon?
The Supreme Grandmaster's eyes rolled in the privacy of his hood. Yes, a real one. Not a little pet swamp dragon. The genuine article.
But I thought they were, myths.
The Supreme Grandmaster leaned forward. They were myths, and they were real, he said loudly. Both a wave and a particle.
Oh, you lost me there,
said Brother Plasterer. I will demonstrate then. The book, please, Brother Fingers. Thank you, brethren. I must tell you that when I was undergoing my tuition by the secret masters... The what? Supreme Grandmaster? Said Brother Plasterer. Why don't you listen? You never listen. He said the secret masters. Oh, this is Brother Watchtower.
Why don't you listen? You never listen. He said the secret masters,
said Brother Watchtower.
You know, the venerable sages what live on some mountain and secretly run everything and taught him all his lore and that and can walk on fires and that. They told us last week. He's going to teach us, aren't you, Supreme Grand Master?
He finished obsequiously? Obsequiously? Huh. Oh, the secret masters, said Brother Plasterer. Sorry, it's this mystic hoods. Sorry, secret, I remember. But when I rule the city, the Supreme Grandmaster said to himself, there is going to be none of this. I shall form a new secret society of keen-minded and intelligent men, although not too intelligent, of course, not too intelligent. And we will overthrow the cold tyrant, and we will usher in a new age of enlightenment and fraternity and humanism, and Ankh-Morpork will become a utopia, and people like Brother Plasterer will be roasted over slow fires if I have any say in the matter, which I will. And his figgin. Annotation. A figgin is defined in the Dictionary of Eye-Watering Words as a small, short crust pasty containing raisins. The dictionary would have been invaluable for the Supreme Grandmaster when he thought up the society's oaths, since it also included welchet, a type of waistcoat worn by certain clockmakers, gaskin, a shy gray-brown bird of the coot family, and mules, a game of skills and dexterity involving tortoises. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like my voice. When I was, as I said, undergoing my tuition by the secret masters, he continued.
That was where they told you had to walk on rice paper, wasn't it?
Said Brother Watchtower conversationally.
I always thought that was a good bit. I've been sailing over the bottom of my macaroons ever since. Amazing, really. I can walk on it no trouble. Shows that being in proper secret societies does for you, does that.
When he is on the griddle, the Supreme Grandmaster thought, Brother Plasterer will not be lonely. Your footfalls on the road of enlightenment are an example to us all, Brother Watchtower, he said. If I may continue, however, among the many secrets...
From the art of being,
said Brother Watchtower approvingly. From the heart, as Brother Watchtower says, of being, was the current location of the noble dragons. The belief that they died out is quite wrong. They simply found a new evolutionary niche, and they can be summoned from it. This book, he flourished it, gives specific instructions. It's just in a book, said Brother Plasterer. No ordinary book. This is the only copy. It has taken me years to track it down, said the Supreme Grandmaster. It's in the handwriting of Tubal the Malachite, a great student of dragon lore. His actual handwriting. He summoned dragons of all sizes, and so can you. There was another long, awkward silence. Said Brother Doorkeeper.
Sounds a bit like, magic to me,
said Brother Watchtower in the nervous tone of the man who has spotted which cup the pea is hidden under, but doesn't like to say it.
I mean, not wishing to question your supreme wisdomness and all that, but, well, magic.
His voice trailed off. Yes, said Brother Plaster uncomfortably. It's, the wizards, see? Said Brother Fingers. You probably didn't know this when you was banged up with them venerable Herberts on their mountains, but the wizards round here come down on you like a ton of bricks if they catches you doing anything like that. Demarcation, they call it. Oh, demarcation, they call it, said Brother Plaster. Like, I don't go around fiddling with the mystic interleaved names of causality, and they don't do any plastering. I fail to see the problem, said the Supreme Grandmaster. In fact, he saw it all too clearly. This was the last hurdle. Help the tiny little minds over this, and he held the world in the palm of his hand. Their stupefyingly unintelligent self-interest hadn't let him down so far. Surely it couldn't fail him now. The brethren shuffled uneasily, and then Brother Dunnikin spoke. Huh? Wizards? What did they know about a day's work? The Supreme Grandmaster breathed deeply. The air of mean-minded resentfulness thickened noticeably. Nothing, and that's a fact, said Brother Fingers. Going around with their noses in the air, too good for the likes of us. I used to see 'em when I worked up at the university. Backsides a mile wide, I'm telling you. Catch 'em doing a job of honest toil. Like thieving, you mean, said Brother Watchtower, who had never liked Brother Fingers much. Of course they tell you, said Brother Fingers, he went on, pointedly ignoring the comment, that you shouldn't go round doing magic on account of only them knowing about not disturbing the universal harmony and whatnot. Load of rubbish, in my opinion. Well, said Brother Plaster, I don't know, really. I mean, you get the mix wrong, you just got a lot of damn plaster around your ankles. But you get a bit of magic wrong, and they say ghastly things come out of the woodwork and stitches you right up. Yeah, but it's the wizards that say that, said Brother Watchtower.
Yeah, but it's the wizards
To say that, said Brother Watchtower thoughtfully.
Never could stand it myself, to tell you the truth. Could be they're on to a good thing and don't want the rest of us to find out. It's only waving your arms and chanting when all's said and done.
The brethren considered this. It sounded plausible. If they were on to a good thing, they certainly wouldn't want anyone else muscling in. The Supreme Grand Master decided that the time was ripe. Then we are agreed, brethren. You are prepared to practice magic. Oh, practice, said Brother Plaster, relieved. I don't mind practicing, so long as we don't have to do it for real. The Supreme Grandmaster thumped the book. I mean, carry out real spells. Put the city back on the right lines. Summon a dragon, he shouted. They took a step back. Then Brother Doorkeeper said, And then, if we get this dragon, the rightful king will turn up, just like that. Yes, said the Supreme Grandmaster.
I can see that,
said Brother Watchtower supportively.
Stands to reason, because of destiny and the gnomic workings of fate.
Hello, Neil. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. Hold on. Did you not get that thing? Show me. There we go. You're a VIP because you're part of the old guard. How are you doing? Neil, I'm exhausted from work. Aw. Well, take it easy. We're reading Discworld. I'm almost through the first chapter. How many? Are there any chapters in this book? Actually, I don't think there are chapters in this book. Well, we're 30 pages in. It's guards. There was a moment of hesitation, and then a general nodding of cowls. Only Brother Plaster looked vaguely unhappy. You love this squirrel? Oh no, I'm sorry. Well, you can read this book. It's the 8th book. We're just getting started. It's completely unrelated to all the other Discworld books, by the way, Neil. This one is with the City Watch, so don't worry. You haven't. Oh, you're on 2. Oh, you should. This one is still in Ankh-Morpork, but it's about the City Watch. So it's not about Rincewind at all. Don't worry, it's like they're separate stories, basically. Are you sure? No. Well, he said, it won't get out of hand, will it? Are you sure, you Brother Plaster, that you can give it up any time you like? Said the Supreme Grandmaster smoothly. Ankh-Morporkus. Well, all right, said the reluctant brother. Just for a bit, then. Could we get it to stay here long enough to burn down, for example, any oppressive vegetable shops? Ah, he'd won. There'd be dragons again, and a king again. Not like the old kings. A king who would do what he was told. That, said the Supreme Grandmaster, depends on how much help you can be. We shall need, initially, any items of magic you can bring. It might not be a good idea to let them see that the last half of the Malachite's book was a charred lump. The man was clearly not up to it. He could do a lot better, and absolutely no one would be able to stop him. Thunder rolled. It is said that the gods play games with the lives of men. But what games and why, and the identities of the actual pawns, and what the game is, and what the rules are, who knows? Best not to speculate. Thunder rolled. It rolled a 6. Now pull back briefly from the dripping streets of Ankh-Morpork, pan across the morning mists of the Disc, and focus in again on a young man heading for the city with all the openness, sincerity, and innocence of purpose of an iceberg drifting into a major shipping lane. The young man is called Carrot. This is not because of his hair, which his father has always clipped short for reasons of hygiene. It is because of his shape. It is the kind of tapering shape a boy gets through clean living, healthy eating, and good mountain air in huge lungfuls. When he flexes his shoulder muscles, other muscles have to move out of the way first. He is also bearing a sword presented to him in a mysterious circumstance. A very mysterious circumstance. Surprisingly, therefore, there is something very unexpected about this sword. It isn't magical. It hasn't got a name. And when you wield it, you don't get a feeling of power. You just get blisters. You could believe it was a sword that had been used so much that it had ceased to be anything other than a quintessential sword, a long piece of metal with very sharp edges. And it hasn't got destiny written all over it. It's practically unique, in fact. Thunder rolled. The gutters of the city gurgled softly as the detritus of the night was carried along, in some cases protesting feebly. When it came to the recumbent figure of Captain Vimes, the water diverted and flowed around him in 2 streams. Vimes opened his eyes. There was a moment of empty peace before memory hit him like a shovel. It had been a bad day for the watch. There had been the funeral of Herbert Gaskin, for one thing. Poor old Gaskin. He had broken one of the fundamental rules of being a guard. It wasn't the sort of rule that someone like Gaskin could break twice. And so he'd been lowered into the sodden ground with the rain drumming on his coffin, and no one present to mourn him but the 3 surviving members of the Night Watch. The most despised group of men in the entire city. Sergeant Colon had been in tears. Poor old Gaskin. Poor old Vimes, Vimes thought. Poor old Vimes, here in the gutter. But that's where he started. Poor old Vimes, with the water swirling in under breastplate. Poor old Vimes, watching the rest of Gutter's contents ooze by. Probably even poor old Gaskin has got better view now, he thought. Let's see. He'd gone off after the funeral and gotten drunk. No, not drunk. Another word, ended with Drunker, that was it. Because whirl all twisted up and wrong, like distorted glass, only came back into focus if you looked at it through bottom of a bottle. Something else now. What was it? Oh yes, nighttime. Time for duty. Not for Gaskin, though. Have to get New Fellow. New Fellow coming anyway, wasn't that it? Some stick from the Hicks. Written letter. Some tick from the Shicks. Vimes gave up and slumped back. The gutter continued to swirl. Overhead, the lighted letters fizzed and flickered in the rain. It wasn't only the fresh mountain air that had given Carrot his huge physique. Being brought up in a gold mine run by dwarves and working a 12-hour day hauling wagons to the surface must have helped. He walked with a stoop. What will do that is being brought up in a gold mine run by dwarves who thought that 5 feet was a good height for a ceiling. He'd always known he was different. More bruised, for one thing. And then one day his father had come up to him, or rather, come up to his waist, and told him that he was not, in fact, as he had always believed, a dwarf. It's a terrible thing to be nearly 16 and the wrong species. "We didn't like to say so before, son," said his father. "We thought you'd grow out of it, see?" "Grow out of what?" said Carrot. "Growing. But now your mother thinks, that is, we both think it's time you went out among your own kind. I mean, it's not fair, keeping you cooped up in here without company and your own height." His father twiddled a loose rivet on his helmet, a sure sign that he was worried. He added. "But you're my kind," said Carrot desperately. "In a manner of speaking, yes," said his father. "In another manner of speaking, which is rather more precise and accurate manner of speaking, no. It's all this genetics business, you see. So it might be a very good idea if you were to go out and see something of the world." "What, for good?" "Oh, no, of course not. Come back and visit whenever you like. But, well, a lad your age, stuck down here, it's not right, you know. I mean, not a child anymore, having to shuffle around on your knees most of the time and everything. It's not right." "What is my own kind, then?" said Carrot, bewildered. The old dwarf took a deep breath. "You're human," he said. "What? Like Mr. Varneshi?" Mr. Varneshi drove an ox cart up the mountain trail once a week to trade things for gold. "What are the big people?" "You're 6'6", lad. He's only 5 foot." The dwarf twiddled a loose rivet again. You see how it is." "Yes, but maybe I'm just tall for my height," said Carrot desperately. "After all, if you can have short humans, can't you have tall dwarves?" His father patted him companionably on the back of the knees. "You got to face facts, boy. You'd be much more at home up on the surface. It's in your blood. The roof isn't so low either. You can't keep knocking yourself out of the sky," he told himself. Hold on," said Carrot, his honest brow wrinkling with the effort of calculation. "You're a dwarf, right? And Mam's a dwarf. So I should be a dwarf too. Fact of life." The dwarf sighed. He'd hoped to creep up on this. Over a period of months, maybe. Sort of break it to him gently. But there wasn't any time anymore. "Sit down, lad," he said. Carrot sat. "The thing is," he said wretchedly, when the boy's big, honest face was a little nearer his own, We found you in the woods one day, toddling about near one of them tracks. A loose rivet squeaked. The dwarf plunged on. Thing is, you see, there were these carts, on fire, as you might say, and dead people. Yes, extremely dead people. Because of bandits. It was a bad winter that winter. There were all sorts of coming into the hills. So we took you in, of course, and then, well, it was a long winter, like I said, and your mam got used to you, and, well, we never got around to asking Varneshi to make enquiries. And that's the long and short of it. Kaeru took this fairly calmly, mostly because he didn't understand nearly all of it. Besides, as far as he was aware, being found toddling in the woods was the normal method of childbirth. A dwarf is not considered old enough to have the technical processes explained to him. Annotation 1. The pronoun is used by dwarves to indicate both sexes. All dwarves have beards and wear up to 12 layers of clothing. Gender is more or less optional. Until he reached puberty. Annotation 2. Which is about 55. All right, Dad, he said, and leaned down so as to be level with the dwarf's ear. But you know, me and, Minty Rocksmacker? She's really beautiful, Dad. Got a beard as soft as a very, very soft thing. We've got an understanding, and... yes, said the dwarf coldly. I know. Her father's had a word with me. So did her mother with your mother, he added silently. And then she had a word with me. Lots of words. It's not that they don't like you. You're a steady lad and a fine worker. You'd make a good son-in-law. 4 good son-in-laws. That's the trouble. And she's only 60 anyway. It's not proper. It's not right. He'd heard about children being reared by wolves. He wondered whether the leader of the pack ever had to sort out something tricky like this. Perhaps he'd have to take him into a quiet clearing somewhere and say, "Look, son, you might have wondered why you're not as hairy as everyone else." He'd discuss it with Varneshi. A good, solid man, Varneshi, of course. He'd know the man's father. And his grandfather, now he came to think about it. Humans didn't seem to last very long. It was probably all the effort of pumping blood up that high. "Got a problem there, King." Literally Deskaknik, mine supervisor. "Right enough," the old man had said, as they shared a nip of spirits on the bench outside Shaft 2. "He's a good lad, mind you," said the king. "Second character, honest, not exactly brilliant. But you tell him to do something, he don't rest until he's done. Obedient." Oh wait, this is the father speaking to Varneshi. You could chop his legs off," said Varneshi. "It's not his legs that's going to be the problem," said the king darkly. Well, yes, well, in that case, you could... No, agreed Varneshi thoughtfully. Well, then what should you do? What you should do is, you should send him away for a bit, let him mix a bit with humans." He sat back. "What you've got here, King, is a duck," he added, in knowledgeable tones. "I don't think I should tell him that. He's refusing to believe he's a human as it is." "What I mean is, a duck brought up among chickens. Well-known farmyard phenomenon. Finds it can't bloody well peck and doesn't know what swimming is." The king listened politely. "Dwarves don't go in much for agriculture. But you send him off to see a lot of other ducks, let him get his feet wet, and he won't go running around after bantams anymore, and Bob's your uncle." Vaneshi sat back and looked rather pleased with himself. When you spend a large part of your life underground, you develop a very literal mind. Dwarves have no use for metaphors and similes. The rocks are hard, the darkness is dark. Start messing around with descriptions like that and you're in a big trouble. It is their motto. But after 200 years of talking to humans, the king had, as it were, developed a painstaking mental toolkit, which was nearly adequate for the job of understanding them. "Surely Bjorn Strong in the Arms is my uncle," he pointed out slowly. "Same thing." There was a pause while the king subjected this to careful analysis. "You're saying," he said, weighing each word, "we should send Carrot away to be a duck among humans because Bjorn Strong in the Arms is my uncle." "Oh, he's a fine lad. Plenty of openings for a big, strong lad like him," said Varneshi. I have heard that dwarves go off to work in the big city, said the king uncertainly, and they send back money to their families, which is very commendable and proper. Oh, there you are then. Get him a job in Well, as she sought for inspiration. In the watch or something. My great-grandfather was in the watch, you know. Fine job for a big lad, my granddad said. What is a watch? Said the king. Oh, said Varneshi with the vagueness of someone whose family for the last 3 generations hadn't traveled more than 20 miles. They goes about making sure people keep the laws and do what they're told. That is a very proper concern, said the king, who, since he was usually the one doing the telling, had very solid views about people doing what they were told. Of course, they don't just take anyone, said Varneshi, dredging the depths of his recollection. I should think not, for such an important task. I shall write to their king. I don't think they have a king there, said Varneshi. Just some man who tells them what to do. The king of the dwarves took this calmly. This seemed to be about 97% of the definition of kingship, as far as he was concerned. Kaeru took the news without fuss, just as he took instructions about reopening shaft number 4 or cutting timber for shoring props. All dwarves are by nature dutiful, serious, literate, obedient, and thoughtful people whose only minor failing is a tendency, after one drink, to rush at enemies screaming "Arg!" and axing their legs off at the knee. Carrot saw no reason to be any different. He would go to this city, whatever that was, and have a man made of him. They took only the finest, Varneshi had said. A watchman had to be a skilled fighter and clean in thought, word, and deed. From the depths of his ancestral anecdotage, the old man had dragged tales of moonlight chases across rooftops and tremendous battles with miscreants which, of course, his great-granddad had won despite being heavily outnumbered. Oh, to be a dwarf, right? It would be nice. Everything is just orderly. You just do what you're told, everything works. Carrot had to admit it sounded better than mining. After some thought, the king wrote to the ruler of Ankh-Morpork, respectfully asking if Carrot could be considered for a place amongst the city's finest. Letters rarely got written in that mine. Work stopped, and the whole clan had sat around in respectful silence as his pen skirted across the parchment. His aunt had been sent up to Varneshi's to beg his pardon, but could he see his way clear to sparing a smidgen of wax? His sister had been sent down to the village to ask Mistress Garlic the witch how you stopped spelling recommendations. How you stopped spelling recommendation. Months had gone by, and then there'd been the reply. It was fairly grubby, since mail in the Ramtops were generally handed to whoever was going in more or less the right direction, and it was also fairly short. It said, baldly, that his application was accepted, and he would present himself for duty immediately. Just like that, he said. I thought there'd be tests and things to see if I was suitable. You're my son, said the king. I told them that. See? Stands to reason you'd be suitable. Probably officer material. He'd pull a sack from under his chair, rummage around in it, and presented Carrot with a length of metal, more a sword than a saw, but only just. This might rightly belong to you, he said. When we found the cart, this was the only thing left. The bandits, you see. Just between you and me, and he beckoned Carrot closer, we had a witch look at it, in case it was magic. But it isn't. Quite the most unmagical sword she'd ever seen, she said. They normally have a bit, see, on account of it's like magnetism, I suppose. Got quite a nice balance, though. He handed it over. He rummaged around some more. And then there's this. He held up a shirt. It'll protect you. Carrot fingered it carefully. It was made from the wool of Ramtop sheep, which had all the warmth and softness of hog bristles. It was one of the legendary woolly dwarf vests, the kind of vest that needs hinges. Protect me from what? He said. Colds and so on, said the king. Your mother says you got to wear it, and, that reminds me, Mr. Varneshi says he'd like you to drop in on the way down the mountain. He's got something for you. His father and mother had waved him out of sight. Minty didn't. Funny that. She seemed to have been avoiding him lately. He'd taken the sword, slung on his back, sandwiches and clean underwear in his pack, and the world, more or less, at his feet. In his pocket was the famous letter from the patrician, the man who ruled the great fine city of Ankh-Morpork. At least that's how his mother had referred to it. It certainly had the important-looking crest at the top, but the signature was something like Lupin Squiggle, Seki Pipe. Still, if it wasn't actually signed by the patrician, then it had certainly been written by someone who worked for him. Or in the same building. Probably the patrician had at least known about the letter. In general terms, not this letter perhaps, but probably he knew about the existence of letters in general. Carrot walked steadfastly down the mountain path, disturbing clouds of bumblebees. After a while, he unsheathed the sword and made experimental stabs at felonious tree stumps and unlawful assemblies of stinging nettles. Varneshi was sitting outside his hut, threading dried mushrooms on a string. "Hello, Carrot," he said, leading the way inside. "Looking forward to the city?" Carrot gave this due consideration. "No," he said. Ow, ow, ow. I bit my lip. Ow, ow. Having second thoughts, are you? Thank you, Sap. Thank you. Hello, how are you? How's your Sunday going? Are you having a good Sunday? Ow. It's bleeding a little bit. No, I was just walking along, said Carrot honestly. I wasn't thinking about anything much. Your dad give you the sword, did he? Said Varneshi, rummaging on a fetid shelf. Yes, and a woolly vest. Oh God, this is hard to say. Yes, and a woolly vest. I always mix up V's and W's to protect me against chills. Ah, yes, it can be very damp down there, so I've heard. Protection, very important. He turned around and added dramatically, This belonged to my great-grandfather. It was a strange, vaguely hemispherical device surrounded by straps. It's some sort of sling? Said Carrot after examining it in polite silence. Varneshi told him what it was. Codpiece? Like in fish? Said Carrot, mystified. No, it's for the fighting, mumbled Varneshi. You should wear it all the time. Protects your vitals, like. Yay, I'm glad you enjoy it. Carrot tried it on. It's a bit small, Mr. Varneshi. That's because you don't wear it on your head, you see. Not on that head, anyway. Varneshi explained some more, to Carrot's mounting bewilderment, and subsequently horror. My great-granddad used to say, Varneshi finished, that but for this, I wouldn't be here today. What did he mean by that? Varneshi's mouth opened and shut a few times. I've no idea, he said, spinelessly. Anyway, the shameful thing was now at the very bottom of Carrot's pack. Dwarves didn't have much truck with things like that. The ghastly preventative represented a glimpse into a world as alien as the backside of the moon. There had been another gift from Mr. Varneshi. It was a small but very thick book, bound in a leather that had become like wool over the years. It was called The Laws and Ordinances of the Cities of Ankh and Morpork. This belonged to my great-granddad as well, he said. This is what the watch has to know. You have to know all the laws, he said virtuously, to be a good officer. Perhaps Varneshi should have recalled that, in the whole of Carrot's life, no one had ever really lied to him or given him an instruction that he wasn't meant to take quite literally. Carrot solemnly took the book. It would never have occurred to him, if he was going to be an officer of the watch, to be less than a good one. It was a 500-mile journey, and surprisingly quite uneventful. People who are rather more than 6 feet tall and nearly as broad across the shoulders often have uneventful journeys. People will jump out at them from behind the rocks, then say things like, Oh, sorry, I thought you were someone else. He'd spent most of the journey reading. And now Ankh-Morpork was before him. It was a little disappointing. He had expected high, white towers rearing over the landscape, and flags. Ankh-Morpork didn't rear. Rather, it sort of skulked, clinging to the soil as if afraid someone might steal it. And there were no flags. There was a guard on the gate. At least he was wearing chainmail, and the thing he was propped up against was a spear. And he had to be a guard. Carrot saluted him and presented the letter. The man looked at it for some time. He said, eventually. I think I've got to see Lupin Squiggly Secchi Pippi, said Carrot. What's the Pippi for? Said the guard suspiciously. Could it be pretty promptly? Said Carrot, who had wondered about this himself. Well, I don't know about any Secchi, said the guard. You want Captain Vimes on the night watch. And where is he based? Said Carrot politely. At this time of the day, I'd try the bunch of grapes in the Easy Street, said the guard. He looked Carrot up and down. Joining the watch, are you? Well, I hope to prove worthy, yes, said Carrot. The guard gave him what could loosely be called an old-fashioned look. It was practically Neolithic. What was it you done? He said. I'm sorry? Said Carrot. You must have done something, said the guard. My father wrote a letter, said Carrot proudly. I've been volunteered. Bloody hellfire, said the guard. Now it was night again, and beyond the dread portal. Are the wheels of torment duly spun, said the Supreme Grand Master. The elucidated brethren shuffle around their circle. Brother Watchtower, said the Supreme Grand Master. Not my job to spin the wheels of torment, muttered Brother Watchtower. It's Brother Plaster's job, spinning the wheels of torment. No, it bloody well isn't. It's my job to oil the axles of the Universal Lemon, said Brother Plasterer hotly. You always say it's my job. The Supreme Grand Master sighed in the depths of his cowl as yet another row began. From this dross, he was going to forge an age of rationality. Just shut up, will you? He snapped. We don't really need the wheels of torment tonight. Stop it, the pair of you. Now, brethren, you have all brought the items as instructed. There was a general murmuring. Place them in the circle of conjuration, said the Supreme Grand Master. It was a sorry collection. Bring magical things, he'd said. Only Brother Fingers had produced anything worthwhile. It looked like some sort of altar ornament. Best not to ask from where. The Supreme Grand Master stepped forward and prodded one of the other things with his toe. What, he said, is this? It's an amulet, muttered Brother Dunnikin. It's very powerful. Warded off a man, guaranteed. Protect you against crocodile bites. Are you sure you can spare it? Said the Supreme Grand Master. There was a dutiful titter from the rest of the brethren. Less of that, brothers, said the Grand Master, spinning around. Bring magical things, I said, not cheap jewelry and rubbish. Good grief, this city is lousy with magic. He reached down. What are these things, for heaven's sake? They're stones, said Brother Plaster uncertainly. I can see that. Why are they magical? And Brother Plaster began to tremble. They brought holes in them, Supreme Grand Master. Everyone knows that stones with holes in them are magical. The Supreme Grand Master walked back to his place on the circle. He threw his arms up. Right, fine, okay, he said wearily. If that's how we're going to do it, that's how we're going to do it. If we get a dragon 6 inches long, we'll all know the reason why. Won't we, Brother Plasterer? Brother Plasterer, sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Brother Plasterer? I said yes, Supreme Grand Master, whispered Brother Plasterer. Very well, so long as that's quite understood. The Supreme Grand Master turned and picked up the book. And now, he said, if we are all quite ready... Brother Watchtower meekly raised his hand. Ready for what, Supreme Grand Master? He said. For the summoning, of course. Good grief, I should have thought... But you haven't told us what we're supposed to do, Supreme Grand Master, went Brother Watchtower. The Grand Master hesitated. This was quite true, but he wasn't going to admit it. Well, of course, he said. It's obvious. You have to focus your concentration. Think hard about dragons. he translated. All of you.
That's all, is it?
Said Brother Doorkeeper. Yes.
Don't we have to chant a mystic prune or something?
The Supreme Grand Master stared at him. Brother Doorkeeper managed to look as defiant in the face of oppression as an anonymous shadow in a black hole could look. Cowl could look. He hadn't joined a secret society not to chant mystic runes. He'd been looking forward to it. You can if you like, said the Supreme Grand Master. Now I want you. Yes, what is it, Brother Dunnikin? The little brother lowered his hand. Don't know any mystic prunes, Grandmaster. Not to what you might call chant. He opened the book. He'd been rather surprised to find, after pages and pages of pious ramblings, that the actual summoning itself was one short sentence. Not a chant, not a brief piece of poetry, but a mere assemblage of meaningless syllables. The Malachites said they caused interference patterns in the waves of reality, but the daft old fool... Oh my goodness! Claudette, hello! How are you? Hi Claudette, hi everybody. Thank you for raiding. Thank you. There's just about to be a Dragon Summit. How you doing, Claudette? Thank you so much for raiding. I'm going to give you a shout out. How are you? Hello everybody. Wolf Boy raid. Awoo! Awoo, 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 awoo. Shout out Claudette. Why am I not... Hold on. I really thought I was following you. Thank you so much for playing Necessa. I don't know what that is. Was it fun? Did you have fun? Everybody follow Claudette. Claudette is so cool. He's a cool wolf boy. Awoo! Awoo! I'm gonna give you tarot card reading as a thank you for raiding. Thank you so much. So give me a number 1 to 5 and ask the cards a question. And I'm gonna give you a reading as a thank you for reading. Hi everybody, by the way, welcome. I'm Kuku Kaeru. I'm a Swedish tree frog. I'm reading Discworld. And we're having the Discworld game playing in the background. And we got some cool music. You were doing test streams for returning. Oh, that's so cool. I'm so happy. I saw you mentioning that you were gonna go on a hiatus before. I hope you're gonna do okay. Hope you're doing okay. You're a good bean. Hope you take care of yourself. But yeah, we're reading Guards, which is the first City Watch book in Discworld. And it's about dragons. And it's about a guy called Carrot who thinks he's a dwarf, but he's 6'6". Okay, your number's 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're gonna put out 3 cards. Thank you so much for rating. I really appreciate it. And your question, what could that be? This is Rincewind behind me. He's a wizard. He's the main character in the first couple of books, but the main character here is Carrot and Mines. Thank you very much for rating. I really appreciate it. So what's the question? What's the question? Questions. Hope you're having a good evening, though. I can't wait to see you come back. It's a monk of the... What's the same type? You have to give a question to the cards for me to answer. I'll give you a reading. It has to be like a... how is this year gonna be? Or is my debut gonna go well? Or am I gonna make a lot of friends this year? Something like that. Maybe it could be... am I a cutie patootie? And the answer would be yeah, of course. Duh. Obviously. Thank you so much again for reading. I really appreciate it. You're a good bean. You're a very good bean. Do 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 dum 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 do dum 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 do 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 dum shibidibidoo shibidibidoo. Am I gonna succeed in your goals? Okay, that's a good question. So first of all, the first card is going to represent sort of your where you're coming from, like what your current situation is, or what you're kind of going up against right now. Well, I pulled Death. but it's the reverse death, so don't worry. Death is not really a bad card. It's of the major arcana, and most major arcana cards are actually about change, and death especially is about change. And it's not about bad change even, that would be the tower. Well, tower is not necessarily bad either, it's just about very dramatic change. Death usually stands for transformations or transitions, but we get the reverse death. So that means you're currently undergoing a kind of a personal transformation or an inner purging of yourself. You're kind of reevaluating yourself. You're kind of looking, turning every stone upside down and being like, okay, so what should I change? Should I change anything? Do I want to change? What would I change to? It might also be that you kind of don't want to change. You're sort of like, I don't want to change just for my goals, but maybe I should. You're like, that's the kind of situation you're in right now. You're becoming stronger. You're shedding your humanity. And then the biggest issue that will be facing you is going to be the 8 of cups. So the cups are the element of water, and they're on the minor arcana. They're about creativity, and they're about like intuition and relationship and healing and cleansing. It's a very feminine suit of cards. And the 8 of cups is actually about disappointment, abandonment, withdrawal, and escapism. So what that means is that while you're heading towards your goals, you are going to be struggling with some disappointments. You might be facing situations where you feel like maybe you've been abandoned, or maybe you're going to withdraw and be a little bit less social. Those are the kind of things that might come your way. That's not going to be the end result, mind you. It's just a challenge, a hurdle you need to overcome moving forwards. It's not a very good card, but it's good to know that knowing is half the battle. If you make it through this, your prospect, or rather like where you're going to end up at the end of this journey, is reversed moon. Moon is generally kind of a weird one. It's about illusions and fear and anxiety. It's about the subconsciousness as well. It's like the sun is very positive and warm, and the moon is kind of cold and lonely and anxious inducing. But this card is reversed, which means that you're going to release your fear. You're going to basically let go of your feelings of anxiety, the kind of things that you were wrestling with halfway through. You are going to be able to sort of repress those emotions or even deal with them. And you might be a little bit confused inwardly. This is not going to be the end of your journey, but definitely you're going to feel more confident with where you're headed. Is it accurate? I never really know. I really strongly suggest that you look these cards up yourself to sort of get your own feel for this reading, because a lot of times you kind of see what you want to see in these cards, and it might be that there's something I missed that you know that I don't know. So you got reversed death, 8 of cups, and reversed moon. There you go. Thank you again so much for rating. I'm very happy to have you here. If you gotta go and eat something, or if you gotta chillax after stream, then go ahead and do so. I'm gonna keep reading the book. We're probably gonna read for another hour at most, and then we're gonna maybe play a little game before we end the stream. We'll see. So, they're just about to summon a dragon. Okay, let's see here. The Malachites said they caused interference patterns in the waves of reality, but the daft old fool was probably making it up as he went along. That was the trouble with wizards. They had to make everything look difficult. All you really needed was willpower, and the brethren had a lot of that. Small-minded and vitriolic willpower, yes, lousy with malignity maybe, but still powerful enough in its way. They would try nothing fancy this time around. Somewhere inconspicuous. Around him the brethren were chanting what each man considered, according to his lights, to be something mystical. Oh, you can sense people's fortunes with Garfield comics? That's so cool! Okay, my birth date is April 26th, 1986. I'm very, very old. Don't tell anyone I'm very old. Around him the brethren were chanting what each man considered, according to his lights, to be something mystical. The general effect was actually quite good, if you didn't listen to the words. Oh, the words, oh yes. He looked down and spoke them aloud. Nothing happened. So 26th. So the 26th of April. He looked down and spoke them aloud. Nothing happened. He blinked. And when he opened his eyes again, he was in a dark alley. His stomach was full of fire, and he was very angry. Did this book turn me into a furry? I read this when I was like 13. It was about to be the worst night of his life, was Zebo Muti, thief 3rd class, and it wouldn't have made him any happier to know that it was also going to be the last one. The rain was keeping people indoor, and he was way behind on his quota. He was therefore a little less cautious than he might otherwise have been. In the night-time streets of Ankh-Morpork, caution is an absolute. There is no such thing as moderately cautious. You are either very cautious or you are dead. You might be walking around and breathing, but you're dead just the same. He heard the muffled sounds coming from the nearby alley, slid his leather-bound kosh from his sleeve, waited until the victim was almost turning the corner, sprang out, said, "Oh shit!" and died. It was a most unusual death. No one else had died like that for hundreds of years. The stone wall behind him glowed cherry red with heat, which gradually faded into darkness. He was the first to see the Ankh-Morpork dragon. He derived little comfort from knowing this, however, because he was dead. He said, and his disembodied self looked down at the small heap of charcoal, which he knew with an unfamiliar sort of certainty was what had just been disembodied. He had just been disembodied from. It was a strange sensation, seeing your own mortal remains. He didn't find it as horrifying as he would have imagined it if you'd asked him, say, 10 minutes ago. Finding that you are dead is mitigated by also finding that there really is a you who can find you dead. I just gotta set a little thing up here. Give me a second. Ooh, nope, that shrank me. Should not be shrinking. There we go. I need to set a thing up in OBS. Here we go. The alley opposite was empty again. That was really strange, said Moody.
Extremely unusual, certainly.
Did you see that? What was it? Moody looked up at the dark figure emerging from the shadows. Who are you, anyway? He added suspiciously.
Guess,
said the voice. Moody peered at the hooded figure. Cool, he said. I thought you didn't turn up for the likes of me.
I turn up for everyone.
I mean, in person, sort of thing.
Sometimes on special occasions.
So my Gofford reading is you'll figure out what you want to be, but in order to do so, you must come to realize your mistakes. Thank you for the reading. Oh, that's ominous. Thank you, Claudette. Thank you. That's really nice. Thank you for the reading. That's scary, but nice. Thank you very much. My mistakes. Okay. Yeah, well, said Moody. This is one of them, all right. I mean, it looked like a bloody dragon. What's the man to do? You don't expect to find a dragon round the corner.
And now, if you would care to step this way,
said Death, laying a skeletal hand on Moody's shoulder. Do you know a fortune teller once told me I'd die in my bed, surrounded by grieving great-grandchildren, said Moody, following the stately figure. What do you think of that, eh?
I think she was wrong.
A bloody dragon, said Moody. Fire-breathing, too. Did I suffer much?
No, it was practically instantaneous.
That's good. I wouldn't like to think I'd suffered much. Moody looked around him. What happens now? He said. Behind them, The rain washed a little heap of black ash into the mud. Don't worry, Claudette. Thank you for linking it. I can still see your link, so I'm gonna copy it so I have it on hand. Thank you so much for linking it. Thank you very much. Also, I hope that you could hear that. I was using the echo, the reverb on Death because he has a reverby voice. Because his lines are all in caps. The Supreme Grandmaster opened his eyes. He was lying. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. He was lying on his back. Brother Dunnikin was preparing to give him the kiss of life. The mere thought was enough to jerk anyone from the borders of consciousness. He sat up, trying to shed the feeling that he weighed several tons and was covered in scales. "We did it," he whispered. "The dragon! It came! I felt it!" The brethren glanced at one another.
"We never saw nothing," said Brother Plasterer. "I might have seen something," said Brother Watchtower loyally.
"No, not here," snapped the Supreme Grandmaster. "You hardly wanted to materialize here, do you? It was out there in the city, just for a few seconds." He pointed. "Look!" The brethren turned around guiltily, expecting at any moment the hot flame of retribution. In the center of the circle, the magic items were gently crumbling to dust. Even as they watched, Brother Dunnikin's amulet collapsed. "Sucked dry," whispered Brother Fingers. "I'll be damned." $3 that amulet cost me," muttered Brother Dunnikin. "But it proves it works," said the Supreme Grandmaster. "Don't you see? You fools, it works. We can summon dragons." Twitch is the world. Hello, Karzov. How you doing? Hello. Could be a bit expensive in magical items, said Brother Fingers doubtfully. $3 it was. No rubbish. Power, growled the Supreme Grandmaster, does not come cheap.
"Very true," nodded Brother Watchtowers. "Not cheap, very true."
He looked at the little heap of exhausted magic again.
"Cool," he said. "We did it though, didn't we? We only went and bloody well did some magic, right?"
"See," said Brother Fingers, "I told you there was nothing to it." "You all did exceptionally well," said the Supreme Grandmaster encouragingly. "Should have been $6, but he said he'd cut its own throat and sell it to me for $3.
"Yeah," said Brother Watchtower. "We got the hang of it all right. Didn't hurt a bit. We done real magic. I didn't get it by a tooth fairy from out of the woodwork either. Brother Plasterer couldn't help noticing."
The other brethren nodded. Real magic, nothing to it. Everyone had just better watch out.
"Hang on though,"
said Brother Plasterer.
"Where's this dragon gone? I mean, did we really summon it or not?"
"Fancy you asking a silly question like that," said Brother Watchtower doubtfully. The Supreme Grandmaster brushed the dust of his mystic robe. "We summoned it," he said, "and it came, but only as long as the magic lasted. Then it went back. If we want it to stay longer, we need more magic. Understand? And that is what we must get." $3 I shan't see again in a hurry. Shut up! "Dearest father," wrote Carrot, "well, here I am in Ankh-Morpork. It is not like at home. I think it must have changed a bit since Mr. Varnesh's great-grandfather was here. I don't think people here know right from wrong. I found Captain Vimes in a common alehouse. I remembered what you said about a good dwarf not going into such places, but since he did not come out, I went in." Oh, thank you for the drink. Thank you. Thank you. Yum, yum, yum. Thank you, Claudette. Thank you, Human Error, for the stretchies. Thank you. Thank you. He was lying with his head on the table. When I spoke to him, he said, "Pull the other one, kid. It has got bells on." I believe he was the worse for drink. He told me to find a place to stay and report to Sergeant Colin at the watch house tonight. He said anyone wanting to join the guard needed their head examined. Mr. Varneshi did not mention this. Perhaps it is done for reasons of hygiene. I went for a walk. There are many people here. I found a place. It is called the Shadows. The Shades. Then I saw some men trying to rob a young lady. I set about them. They did not know how to fight properly, and one of them tried to kick me in the vitals. But I was wearing the protective as instructed, and he hurt himself. Then the lady came up to me and said, was I interested in bed? I said yes. She took me to where she lived, a boarding house, I think it is called. It is run by Mrs. Palm. The lady whose purse it was, she is called Reed, she said. You should have seen him. There were 3 of them. It was amazing. Mrs. Palm said. It is on the house, she said. What a big protective. So I went upstairs and fell asleep, although it is a very noisy place. Reed woke me up once or twice to say, do you want anything? But they had no apples. So I have fallen on my feet, as they say here, but I don't see how that is possible, because if you fall off your feet, it is common sense. This letter is the worst. There is certainly a lot to do. When I went to see the sergeant, I saw a place called the Thieves' Guild. I asked Mrs. Palm, and she said, of course. She said the leaders of the thieves in the city meet there. I went to the watch house and met Sergeant Colin, a very fat man, and when I told him about the Thieves' Guild, he said, don't be an idiot. I do not think he is serious. He says, don't you worry about Thieves' Guild. This is all what you have to do. You walk along the streets at night shouting, it's 12 o'clock and all's well. I said, what if it is not all well? And he said, you bloody well find another street. This is not leadership. I have been given some chainmail. It is rusty and not well made. They give you money for being a guard. It is $20 a month. When I get it, I will send you it. I hope you are all well and that shaft number 5 is now open. This afternoon, I will go and look at the Thieves' Guild. It is disgraceful. If I do something about it, it will be a feather in my cap. I am getting the hang of how they talk here already. Your loving son, Carrot. P.S. Please give all my love to Minty. I really miss her. Aww. Lord Veterinary, the patrician of Ankh-Morpork, put his hand over his eyes. He did what? I was marched through the streets, said Erdo Van Pew, currently president of the Guild of Thieves, Burglars, and Allied Trades, in broad daylight, with my hands tied together. He took a few steps towards the patrician's severe chair of office, waving a finger. You know very well that we have kept within the budget, he said. To be humiliated like that, like a common criminal. There had better be a full apology, he said, or you will have another strike on your hands. We will be driven to it, despite our natural civic responsibilities, he added. It was the finger. The finger was a mistake. The patrician was staring coldly at the finger. Van Pew followed his gaze and quickly lowered the digit. The patrician was not a man you shook a finger at unless you wanted to end up being able to count only to 9. And you'll say this was one person, said Lord Veterinary. Yes, that's... Van Pew hesitated. It did sound weird, now he came to tell someone. But there are hundreds of you in there. Oh wait, wrong voice. But there are hundreds of you in there, said the patrician calmly. Thick as, you should excuse the expression, thieves. Van Pew opened and shut his mouth a few times. The honest answer would have been yes, and if anyone had come sidling in and skulking around the corridors, it would have been the worse for them. Burp. It was the way he strode in, as if he owned the place, that fooled everyone. That, and the fact that he kept hitting people and telling them to mend their ways. The patrician nodded. I shall deal with the matter momentarily, he said. It was a good word. It always made people hesitate. They were never quite sure whether he meant he'd deal with it now, or just deal with it briefly. And no one ever dared ask. Van Pew backed down. A full apology, mark you. I have a position to maintain, he added. Thank you. Do not let me detain you, said the patrician. once again giving the language his own individual spin. Right, good, thank you, very well, said the thief.
After all, you have such a lot of work to do,
Lord Veterinary went on. Well, of course this is the case. The thief hesitated. The patrician's last remark had barbs on it. You found yourself waiting for him to strike. He said, hoping for a clue.
With so much business being conducted, that is.
Panic took over the thief's features. Randomized guilt flooded his mind. It wasn't a case of what had he done. It was a question of what the patrician had found out about. The man had eyes everywhere, none of them so terrifying as the icy blue ones just above his nose. I don't quite follow, he began.
Curious choice of targets.
The patrician picked up a sheet of paper.
For example, a crystal ball belonging to a fortune teller in Shear Street, a small ornament from the temple of Offla, the crocodile god, and so on. Gewgaws.
I am afraid I really don't know, said the head thief, and the patrician leaned forward.
No unlicensed thieving, surely,
he said. Annotation. One of the remarkable innovations introduced by the patrician was to make the Thieves' Guild responsible for theft, with annual budgets, forward planning, and, above all, rigid job protection. Thus, in return for an agreed average level of crime per annum, the thieves themselves saw to it that unauthorized crime was met with the full force of injustice, which was generally a stick with nails on it. I shall look into it directly, stuttered the head thief. Depend upon it. The patrician gave him a sweet smile.
I'm sure I can, he said. Thank you for coming to see me. Don't hesitate to leave.
The thief shuffled out. It was always like this with the patrician, he reflected bitterly. You came to him with a perfectly reasonable complaint. Next thing you knew, you were shuffling out backwards, bowing and scraping, relieved simply to be getting away. You had to hand it to the patrician, he admitted grudgingly. If you didn't, he sent men to come and take it away. When he'd gone, Lord Veterinary rang the little bronze bell that summoned his secretary. The man's name, despite his handwriting, was Lupine Wons. He appeared pen poised. Pen poised, that's pee-pee. Was it Dee? It was pee-pee. You could say this about Lupine Wons. There's a joke in there somewhere. He was neat. He always gave the impression of just being completed. Even his hair was so smoothed down and oiled, it looked as though it had been painted on. The watch appears to be having some
difficulty with the Thieves' Guild, said the patrician. Van Pew has been in here claiming that a member of the watch arrested him.
What for, sir?
Being a thief, apparently.
A member of the watch? Said the secretary.
I know, but just sort it out, will you?
The patrician smiled to himself. It was always hard to fathom Lord Veterinary's idiosyncratic sense of humor, but a vision of the red-faced, irate head thief kept coming back to him. One of the patrician's greatest contributions to the reliable operation of Ankh-Morpork had been, very early in his administration, the legalization of the ancient guild of thieves. Crime was always with us, he reasoned, and therefore, if you were getting to have crime, it at least should be organized crime. And so the guild had been encouraged to come out of the shadows and build a big guild house, take their place at civic banquets, and set up their training college with day release courses and city and guilds certificates and everything. In exchange for the whittling down of the watch, they agreed, while trying to keep their faces straight, to keep crime levels to a level to be determined annually. That way, everyone could plan ahead, said Lord Veterinary, and part of the uncertainty had been removed from the chaos that is life. And then, a little while later, the patricians summoned the leading thieves again and said,
Oh, by the way, there was something else. What was it now? Oh, yes. I know who you are, he said. I know where you live. I know what kind of horse you ride. I know where your wife has her hair done. I know where your lovely children. How old are they now? My, doesn't time fly? I know where they play. So you won't forget about what we agreed, will you?
And he smiled. And so did they, after a fashion. And in fact, it had turned out very satisfactory from everyone's point of view. It took the head thieves a very little time to grow paunches and start having coat of arms made and meet in a proper building rather than smoky dens, which no one had liked much. Who's adorable? The veterinary, the patrician, or the dragon behind me. It's cute. A complicated arrangement of receipts and vouchers saw to it that... Oh, the patrician, yeah, he's wonderful. A complicated arrangement of receipts and vouchers saw to it that, while everyone was eligible for the attentions of the guild, no one had too much, and this was very acceptable, at least to those citizens who were rich enough to afford the quite reasonable premiums the guild charged for an uninterrupted life. There was a strange foreign word for this, insurance. No one knew exactly what it had originally meant, but Ankh-Morpork had made it its own. The watch hadn't liked it, but the plain fact was that the thieves were far better at controlling crime than the watch had ever been. After all, the watch had to work twice as hard to cut crime just a little, whereas all the guilds had to do was to work less. And so the city prospered, while the watch had dwindled away like a useless appendix into a handful of unemployable who no one in their right mind could ever take seriously. The last thing anyone wanted them to do was getting it into their heads to fight crime, but seeing the head thief discommoded was always worth the trouble, the patrician felt. Oof. I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm 60 pages in. Well, 60-ish. 51 pages if you count from where we started. Captain Vimes knocked very hesitantly at the door, because each tap echoed around his skull. Enter. Vimes removed his helmet, tucked it under his arm, and pushed the door open. Its creak was a blunt saw across the front of his brain. He always felt uneasy in the presence of lupine wands. Come to that, he felt uneasy in the presence of Lord Veterinary, but that was different. That was down to breeding, and ordinary fear, of course, whereas he'd known wands since their childhood in the Shades. The boy had shown promise even then. He was never a gang leader. Hadn't got the strength or stamina for that. And after all, what was the point in being the gang leader? Behind every gang leader were a couple of lieutenants bucking for promotions. Being a gang leader is not a job with long-term prospects, but in every gang there is a pale youth who is allowed to stay because he's the one who comes up with all the clever ideas, usually to do with old women and unlocked shops. This was Wance's natural place in the order of things. Vimes had been one of the middle rankers, the falsetto equivalent of a yes man. He remembered Wance as a skinny little kid, always tagging along behind in hand-me-down pants with the kind of odd skipping run he'd invented to keep up with the bigger boys, and forever coming up with fresh ideas to stop them idly ganging up on him, which was the usual recreation if nothing more interesting presented itself. It was superb training for the rigor of adulthood, and Wance became good at it. Yes, they'd both started in the gutter, but Wance had worked his way up, whereas, as he himself would be the first to admit, Vimes had merely worked his way along. Every time he seemed to be getting anywhere, he spoke his mind or said the wrong thing, usually both at once. That was what made him uncomfortable around Once. It was the ticking of the bright clockwork of ambition. Vimes had never mastered ambition. It was something that happened to other people. "Ah, Vimes." "Sir," said Vimes woodenly. He didn't try to salute in case he fell over. He wished he'd had time to drink dinner. Once rummaged in the papers on his desk. "Strange things afoot, Vimes. Serious complaints about you, I'm afraid," he said. Once didn't wear glasses. If he had worn glasses, he'd have peered at Vimes over the top of them. "Sir?" "One of your night watchmen. Seems he arrested the head of the Thieves' Guild." Vimes swayed a little and tried hard to focus. He wasn't ready for this sort of thing. "Sorry, sir," he said. "Seems to have lost you there." "I said, Vimes, that one of your men arrested the head of the Thieves' Guild." One of my men?" "Yes." Vimes's scattered brain cells tried valiantly to regroup. A member of the Watch?" he said. Once grinned mirthlessly. "Tied him up and left him in front of the palace. There's a bit of a stink about it, I'm afraid. There was a note. Here it is. This man is charged with conspiracy to commit crime under Section 14, Paragraph 3 of the General Felonies Act 1678 by me, Carrot Iron Fonderson." Vimes squinted at him. 14 I? "Apparently," said Once. It's written 14, and then within parentheses there are 3 I's. So that would be, I guess, the 3rd paragraph? I'm not sure. "What does that mean?" "I really haven't the faintest notion," said Once dryly. "And what about the name? Carrot?" "But we don't do things like that," said Vimes. You can't go around arresting the Thieves' Guild. I mean, we'd be at it all day." "Apparently this Carrot thinks otherwise." "Hello, Eater Bread. Hello." "They're enabling your plushie addiction. I'm jealous. I also want to buy plushies. I love them. I'm doing pretty good. I appreciated myself today. Hope you've appreciated yourself. I'm sitting here doing some reading. I think we're going to read for another 15 or so minutes. Then I might do something else for a little bit, and then we're going to end the stream, I think. So it's going to be a little while more. Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're having a good weekend. The captain shook his head and winced. Carrot doesn't ring a bell. The tone of blurred conviction was enough even for Once, who was momentarily taken aback. He was quite... "Oh, you're putting your tax returns to good use. Nice. I'm getting my tax returns in May, I think. Not a lot, but a decent amount. I might buy plushies with them, or slime. I want to buy slime, corn with slime. But the shipping is so expensive, and we don't have any cool slimes in Sweden." He was quite... The secretary hesitated. Carrot, he said. "I've heard the name before." "No, wait, that's Vimes. Carrot, he said. "I've heard the name before. Seen it." "No, wait, that is him. DM the slime to me." "Oh, okay, I will. I've heard this name before. I've seen it written down." His face went blank. "The volunteer, that was it. Remember me showing you?" Vimes stared at him. "Wasn't there a letter from, I don't know, some dwarf?" "All about serving the community and keeping the streets safe, that's right. Begging that his son would be found suitable for a humble position in the Watch." The secretary was rummaging among his files. Thank you. "What had he done?" said Vimes. "Nothing. That was it. Not a blessed thing." Vimes's brows creased as his thoughts shaped themselves around the new concept. "A volunteer?" he said. "Yes. He didn't have to join? He wanted to join, and you said it must be a joke, and I said we ought to try and get more ethnic minorities into the Watch. You remember?" Vimes tried to. It wasn't easy. He was vaguely aware that he drank to forget. What made it rather pointless was that he couldn't remember what it was he was forgetting anymore. In the end, he just drank to forget about drinkiness. A trawl of the chaotic assortments of recollections that he didn't even try to dignify anymore by the name of memory produced no clue. "Do I?" he said helplessly. Once folded his hands on the desk and leaned forward. "Now look, Captain," he said. "Lordship wants an explanation. I don't want to have to tell him the captain of the night watch hasn't the faintest idea what goes on amongst the men under him. If I may use the term loosely, his command. That sort of thing only leads to trouble, question asked. That sort of thing. We don't want that, do we? Do we?" It's an anti-meme? Huh? "No, sir," Vimes muttered. A vague recollection of someone earnestly talking to him in the bunch of grapes was bobbing guiltily at the back of his mind. Surely that hadn't been a dwarf. Not unless the qualifications had been radically altered, at any rate. "Of course we don't," said Once. "For old time's sake and so on, so I'll think of something to tell him, and you, Captain, will make a point of finding out what's going on and putting a stop to it. Give this dwarf a short lesson in what it means to be a guard, all right?" "Ha ha," said Vimes dutifully. "I'm sorry," said Once. Oh, thought you made an ethnic joke there, sir." "Look, Vimes, I'm being very understanding. In the circumstances. Now I want you to get out there and sort this out. Do you understand?" Vimes saluted. The black depression that always lurked ready to take advantage of his sobriety moved in on his tongue. "Right you are, Mr. Secretary," he said. "I'll see to it that he learns that arresting thieves is against the law." He wished he hadn't said that. If he didn't say things like that, he'd have been better off now. Captain of the Palace Guard, a big man. Giving him the watch had been the patrician's little joke, but Once was already reading a new document on his desk. If he noticed the sarcasm, he didn't show it. "Very good," he said. "Dearest Mother," Carrot wrote, "it has been a much better day. I went into the Thieves' Guild and arrested the chief miscreant and dragged him to the patrician's palace. No more trouble from him, I fancy. And Mrs. Palm says that I can stay in the attic because it is always useful to have a man around the place. This was because, in the night, there were men the worse for drink making a fuss in one of the girls' rooms, and I had to speak to them, and they show fight, and one of them tried to hurt me with his knee, but I had the protective, and Mrs. Palm says that he has broken his patella, but I needn't pay for a new one. I do not understand some of the watch duties. I have a partner. His name is Nobby. He says I am too keen. He says I have got a lot to learn. I think this is true because I have only got up to page 326 in the Laws and Ordinances of the Cities of Ankh and Morpork. Love to all, your son, Carrot. P.S. Love to Minty. It wasn't just a loneliness. It was a back-to-front way of living. That was it, thought Vimes. The night watch got up when the rest of the world was going to bed, and went to bed when dawn drifted over the landscape. You spent your whole time in the damp, dark streets in a world of shadows. The night watch attracted the kind of people who, for one reason or another, were inclined to that kind of life. He reached the watch house. It was an ancient and surprisingly large building, wedged between a tannery and a tailor who made suspicious leather goods. It must have been quite imposing once, but quite a lot of it was now uninhabitable and patrolled only by owls and rats. Over the door, a motto in the ancient tongue of the city was now almost eroded by time and grime and lichen, but could just be made out. Fabricati diem, pivns. It translated, according to Sergeant Colin, who had served in foreign parts and considered himself an expert on languages, as to protect and to serve. Yes, being a guard must have meant something once. Sergeant Colin, he thought, as he stumbled into the musty gloom. Now there was a man who liked the dark. Sergeant Colin owed 30 years of happy marriage to the fact that Mrs. Colin worked all day and Sergeant Colin worked all night. They communicated by means of notes. He got her tea ready before he left at night. She left his breakfast nice and hot in the oven in the mornings. They had 3 grown-up children, all born, Vimes had assumed, as a result of extremely persuasive handwriting. And Corporal Nobbs, well, anyone like Nobby had unlimited reasons for not wishing to be seen by other people. You didn't have to think too hard about that. The only reason you couldn't say that Nobby was close to the animal kingdom was that the animal kingdom would get up and walk away. And then, of course, there was himself. Just a skinny, unshaven collection of bad habits marinated in alcohol. And that was the Night Watch. Just the 3 of them. Once there had been dozens, hundreds, and now just 3. Vimes fumbled his way up the stairs, groped his way into his office, slumped into the primeval leather chair with its prolapsed stuffing, scrabbled at the bottom drawer, grabbed bottle, bit cork, tugged, spat out cork, drank. Began his day. The world swam into focus. Life is just chemicals. A drop here, a drip there, everything's changed. A mere dribble of fermented juices, and suddenly you're going to live another few hours. Once, in the days when this had been a respectable district, some hopeful owner of the tavern next door had paid a wizard a considerable sum of money for an illuminated sign, every letter a different color. Now it worked erratically and sometimes short-circuited in the damp. At the moment, the E was a garish pink and flashed on and off at random. Vimes had grown accustomed to it. It seemed like part of life. He stared at the flickering play of light on the crumbling plaster for a while, and then raised one sandaled foot and thumped heavily on the floorboards twice. Is the music too loud? Kind of looks like it's a little too loud. Maybe I should raise the microphone just a little bit. Is it better? Maybe this is better. There we go. After a few minutes, a distant wheezing indicated that Sergeant Colon was climbing up the stairs. Oh yeah, it's kind of loud. Yeah, you're right. I'll lower the music a little bit. Let's see here. Okay, is that better? Might be a bit better. There we go. Pardon me. On the 7th second, the door opened. The sergeant's face appeared around it like a harvest moon. You could describe Sergeant Colon like this. He was the sort of man who, if he took up a military career, would automatically gravitate to the post of sergeant. You couldn't imagine him ever being a corporal, or, for that matter, a captain. If he didn't take up a military career, then he looked cut out for something like, perhaps, a sausage butcher. Some job where a big red face and a tendency to sweat even in frosty weather were practically part of the specifications. He saluted, and with considerable care placed a scruffy piece of paper on Vimes's desk and smoothed it out. "Evening, Captain," he said. "Yesterday's incident reports and that. Also, you owe 4p to the tea club." "What's this about a dwarf, Sergeant?" said Vimes abruptly. Colon's brow wrinkled. "What dwarf?" "The one who's just joined the watch. Name of, Vimes hesitated. Carrot, or something." "Him?" Colon's mouth dropped open. "He's a dwarf?" "I always said you couldn't trust them little buggers. He fooled me all right, Captain. The little sod must have lied about his height." Colon was a sizist, at least when it came to people smaller than himself. "Do you know he arrested the president of the Thieves Guild this morning?" "What for?" "For being president of the Thieves Guild." "It seems." The sergeant looked puzzled. "Where's the crime in that?" "I think perhaps I had better have a word with this carrot," said Vimes. "Didn't you see him, sir?" said Colin. "He said he'd reported to you." "Sir?" I must have been busy at the time. A lot on my mind," said Vimes. "Yes, sir," said Colin politely. Vimes had just enough self-respect left to look away and shuffled the strata of paperwork on his desk. "We've got to get him off the street as soon as possible," he muttered. "Next thing you know, he'll be bringing in the chief of the Assassin's Guild for bloody well killing people." Yeah, heightists are the worst. They just keep looking down on me. I don't like it. "Where is he?" I sent him out with Corporal Nobbs, Captain. I said he'd showed him the ropes, sort of thing." "You sent a raw recruit out with Nobby?" said Vimes warily. Colin stuttered. "Well, sir, experienced man, I thought. Corporal Nobbs could teach him a lot." "Oh, well, let's just hope he's a slow learner," said Vimes, ramming his brown iron helmet on his head. "Come on." And when they stepped out of the watch house, there was a ladder against the tavern wall. A bulky man at the top of it swore under his breath as he wrestled with the illuminated sign. "It's the E that doesn't work properly," Vimes called up. "What?" "The E, and the T sizzles when it rains. It's about time it was fixed." "Fixed? Oh, yes, fixed. That's what I'm doing, all right, fixing." The watchman splashed off through the puddles. Brother Watchtower shook his head slowly and turned his attention once again to his screwdriver. "He's stealing the sign." Men like Corporal Nobbs can be found in every armed force. Although their grasp of the minutiae of the regulations is usually encyclopedic, they take good care never to be promoted beyond, perhaps, corporal. He tended to speak out of the corner of his mouth. He smoked incessantly, but the weird things, Carrot noticed, was that any cigarette smoked by Nobby became a dog end almost instantly, but remained a dog end indefinitely, or until lodged behind his ear, which was a sort of nicotine elephant's graveyard. On the rare occasions he took one out of his mouth, he held it cupped in his hand. He was a small, bandy-legged man with a certain resemblance to a chimpanzee who never got invited to tea parties. His age was indeterminable, but in cynicism and general world wariness, which is a sort of carbon dating of the personality, he was about 7,000 years old. I'm sorry. I love Nobbs. He's one of my favorite characters. "Our cushy numbered this route," he said, as they strolled along a damp street in the merchant's quarter. He tried a door handle. It was locked. "You stick with me," he added, "and I'll see you're all right. Now you try the handles on the other side of the street." I understand, Corporal Nobbs. We've got to see if anyone's left their store unlocked," said Carrot. "You catch on fast, son." "I hope I can apprehend a miscreant in the act," said Carrot zealously. Yeah," said Nobby uncertainly. But if we find a door unlocked, I suppose we must summon the owner," Carrot went on. "And one of us would have to stay to guard things. All right?" Yeah," Nobby brightened. I'll do that," he said. Don't you worry about it. Then you could go and find the victim. Owner, I mean." He tried another doorknob. It turned under his grip. "Back in the mountains," said Carrot, "if a thief was caught, he was hung up by the..." He paused, idly rattling a doorknob. Nobby froze. By the what?" he said, in horrified fascination. "I can't remember now," said Carrot. "My mother said it was too good for them anyway. Stealing is wrong." Nobby had survived any number of famous massacres by not being there. He let go of the doorknob and gave it a friendly pat. "Got it," said Carrot. Nobby jumped. "Got what?" he shouted. "I remember what we hanged them up by," said Carrot. "Oh," said Nobby weakly. "Where?" "We hanged them up at the town hall," said Carrot. "Sometimes for days. They don't do it again, I can tell you. And Bjorn's strong in the arms, your uncle." That's a callback. Nobby leaned his pike against the wall and fumbled a fag end from the recesses of his ears. Ooh, his ear. This is British. One or two things, he decided, needed to be sorted out. "Why do you have to become a guard, lad?" he said. "Everyone keeps on asking me that," said Carrot. "I didn't have to. I wanted to. It will make a man out of me." Nobby never looked anyone directly in the eye. He stared at Carrot's right ear in amazement. "You mean you ain't running away from anything?" he said. What would I want to run away from anything for? Nobby floundered a bit.
Well, there's always something. Maybe you was wrongly accused of something. Like, maybe, he grinned, maybe those stores was mysteriously short on certain items and you was unjustly blamed. Or certain items was found in your kit and you never knew how they got there. That sort of thing. You know, you can tell old Nobby. Or, he nudged Carrot, perhaps there was something else, eh? Cherchez la femme, eh? Got a girl into trouble?
Carrot began, and then remembered that, yes, one should tell the truth, even to odd people like Nobby, who didn't seem to know what it was. And the truth was that he was always getting Minty in trouble, although exactly how and why was a bit of a mystery. Just about every time he left after paying calls on her at the Rocksmacker cave, he could hear her father and mother shouting at her. They were always very polite to him, but somehow merely being seen with him was enough to get Minty into trouble. Yes, he said.
Uh-huh. Often the case,
said Nobby wisely. All the time, said Carrot. Just about every night, really.
Blimey, said Nobby, impressed. He looked down at the protective. Is that why they make you wear that?
He's wearing a codpiece, by the way. That's the protector.
Is that what they make you wear that, then?
What do you mean?
Well, don't you worry about it, said Nobby. Everyone's got their own little secrets, or big secrets, as it might be.
Why am I laughing at this part?
Even the captain, he's only with us because he was brung low by a woman. That's what the sergeant says, brung low.
Goodness, said Carrot. It sounded painful.
But I reckon it's 'cause he speaks his mind. Spoke it once too often to the patrician, I heard. Said the thieves' guild was nothing but a pack of thieves or something. That's why he's with us. I don't know, really.
He looked speculatively at the pavement and then said,
So where are you staying, lad?
Oh, there's a lady called Mrs. Palm, Carrot began. Nobby choked on some smoke that went the wrong way.
In the shades? He wheezed. You're staying there?
Oh, yes.
Every night?
Well, every day, really, yes.
And you come here to have a man made out of you?
Yes.
I don't think I should like to live where you come from, said Nobby.
Look, said Carrot, thoroughly lost. I came because Mr. Vaneschi said it was the finest job in the world, upholding the law and everything. That's right, isn't it?
Well, said Nobby, as to that, I mean, upholding the law. I mean, once, yes, before we had all the guilds and stuff. The law sort of thing ain't really, I mean, these days everything's more, I don't know. Basically, you just ring your bell and keep your head down.
Nobby sighed. Then he grunted, snatched his hourglass from his belt, and peered in at the rapidly draining sand grains. He put it back, pulled the leather muffler off his bell's clapper, and shook it once or twice, not very loudly.
12 o'clock, he muttered, and all's well.
And that's it, is it? Said Carrot, as the tiny echoes died away.
More or less.
Nobby took a quick drag on his dog end. Just that. No moonlight chases across the rooftops. No swinging on chandeliers. Nothing like that, said Carrot.
Shouldn't think so, said Nobby fervently. I never done anything like that. No one ever said anything to me about that.
He snatched a puff on the cigarette.
A man could catch his death of cold chased around on rooftops, I reckon. I'll stick to the bell, if it's all the same to you.
Can I have a go? Said Carrot. Nobby was feeling unbalanced. It can be the only reason why he made the mistake of wordlessly handing Carrot the bell. Carrot examined it for a few seconds, and then he waved it vigorously over his head.
12 o'clock, he bellowed, and all is well.
The echoes bounced back and forth across the streets, and finally were overwhelmed by a horrible, thick silence. Several dogs barked somewhere in the night. A baby started crying. Shh! Hissed Nobby. Well, it is all well, isn't it? Said Carrot.
Well, it won't be if you keep ringing on that bloody bell. Give it here.
I don't understand, said Carrot. Look, I've got this book Mr. Vaneschi gave me. He fumbled for the laws and ordinances. Nobby glanced at them and shrugged.
I never heard of him, he said. Now just shut up your row. You don't want to go making a din like that. You could attract all sorts.
Come on, this way. He grabbed Carrot's arm and bustled him along the streets. What sorts? Protested Carrot as he was pushed determinedly forward. Bad sorts, muttered Nobby. But we're the watch! Damn right, and we don't want to go tangling with people like that. Remember what happened to Gaskin? I don't remember what happened to Gaskin, said Carrot, totally bewildered. Who's Gaskin? Before your time, mumbled Nobby. He deflated a bit. Poor bugger. Could have happened to any of us. He looked up and glared at Carrot. Now stop all this, you hear? It's getting on my nerves. Moonlight bloody chases my bum. He stalked along the street. Nobby's normal method of locomotion was a kind of sidle, that the combination of stalking and sidling at the same time created a strange effect, like a crab limping. But, said Carrot, in this book it says, I don't want to know from no book, growled Nobby. Carrot looked utterly crestfallen. But it's the law, he began. He was nearly terminally interrupted by an axe that whirred out of a low doorway beside him and bounced off the opposite wall. It was followed by sounds of splintering timber and breaking glass. Hey, Nobby, said Carrot urgently, there's a fight going on. Nobby glanced at the doorway. Of course there is, he said. It's a dwarf bar, worst kind. You keep out of there, kid. Them little buggers like to trip you up and then kick 12 kinds of shit out of you. You come along, old Nobby, and He grabbed Carrot's tree trunk arm. It was like trying to tow a building. Carrot had gone pale. Dwarfs drinking? And fighting? He said. Oh, you bet, said Nobby. All the time. And they used the kind of language I wouldn't even use to my own dear mother. You don't want to mix it with them. They're a poisonous bunch of... Oh, don't go in there. No one knows why dwarves, who at home in the mountains lead quiet, orderly lives, forget it all when they move to the big city. Something comes over even the most blameless iron ore miner and prompts him to wear chainmail all the time, carry an axe, change his name to something like Grabthroat Shin Kicker, and drink himself into surly oblivion. It's probably because they do live such quiet and orderly lives back home. Dwarves are basically the fantasy Mormons. No, not Mormons. What are they called? The Amish. That's dwarves. It's probably because they do live such quiet and orderly lives back home. After all, probably the first thing a young dwarf wants to do when he hits the big city, after 70 years of working for his father at the bottom of a pit, is have a big drink and then hit someone. The fight was one of those enjoyable dwarvish fights with about 100 participants and 150 alliances. The screams, oaths, and the ringing of axes on iron helmets mingled with the sounds of a drunken group by the fireplace who, another dwarvish custom, were singing about gold. Nubby bumped into the back of Carrot, who was watching the scene with horror. Look, it's like this every night in here, said Nobby. Don't interfere, that's what the sergeant says. It's their ethnic folkways or something. You don't go messing with ethnic folkways. But, Carrot stuttered, these are my people. Sort of. It's shameful acting like this. What must everyone think? Oh, well, we think they're mean little buggers, said Nobby. Now, come on. But Carrot had waded into the scuffling mass. He cupped his hands around his mouth and bellowed something in a language Nobby didn't understand. Practically any language, including his native one, would have fitted that description, but in this case, it was Dwarvish. Gordzuk, akzet exemke burkstadzim. Annotation. Literal translation. Good day, good day. What is all of this that is going on here, in this place? The fighting stopped. 100 bearded faces glared up at Carrot's stooped figure, their annoyance mingled with surprise. A battered tankard bounced off his breastplate, and Carrot reached down and picked up a struggling figure without apparent effort. Literal translation. Listen, sunshine. Literally, by the stare of the great hot eye in the sky whose fiery gaze penetrates the mouth of the cavern, I don't want to have to give anyone a smacking. So if you play Bedudst with me, I'll play Bedudst with you, okay? Annotation for Budutz, a popular dwarfish game which consists of standing a few feet apart and throwing large rocks at one another's head. And the translation for okay is literally all correctly beamed and propped. Okay. No dwarf had ever heard so many old tongue words from the mouth of anyone over 4 feet high. They were astonished. Carrot lowered the offending dwarf to the floor, and there were tears in his eyes. "You're dwarves," he said. "Dwarves shouldn't be acting like this. Look at you all. Aren't you ashamed?" 100 bone-hard jaws dropped. "I mean, look at you," Carrot shook his head. "Can you imagine what your poor white-bearded old mother, slaving away back in her little hole, wondering how her son is getting on tonight? Can you imagine what she'd think if she saw you now? Your own dear mother, who first showed you how to use a pickaxe." Nobby, standing by the doorway in terror and amazement, was aware of a growing chorus of nose-blowings and muffled sobs as Carrot went on. "She's probably thinking, I expect he's having a quiet game of dominoes or something." A nearby dwarf, wearing a helmet encrusted with 6-inch spikes, started to cry gently into his beer. "And I bet it's a long time since any of you wrote her a letter too, and you promised to write every week." Nobby absent-mindedly took out a grubby handkerchief and passed it to a dwarf who was leaning against a wall, shaking with grief. "Now then," said Carrot gently, "I don't want to be hard on anyone, but I shall be coming past here every night from now on, and I shall expect to see proper standards of dwarf behavior. I know what it's like when you're far from home, but there's no excuse for this sort of thing." He touched his helmet. "Kruk-tuk," literal meaning evening all, or even more literally, felicitations to all present at the closing of the day. He gave them all bright smiles and half walked, half crouched out of the bar. As he emerged into the street, Nobby tapped him on his arm. "Don't you ever do anything like that to me again," he fumed. "You're in the city watch. Don't give me any more of this law business." "But it is very important," said Carrot seriously, trotting after Nobby as he sidled into a narrower street. "Not as important as staying in one piece," said Nobby. "Dwarf bars, if you got any sense, my lad, you'll come in here and shut up." Carrot stared up at the building they had reached. It was set back in a little from the mud of the street, and the sounds of considerable drinking were coming from inside. A battered sign hung above the door, and it showed a drum. "A tavern, is it?" said Carrot thoughtfully. "Open at this hour?" "I don't see why not," said Nobby, pushing open the door. "Damn useful idea, the mended drum." "And more drinking?" Carrot thumbed hastily through the book. "I hope so," said Nobby. He nodded to the troll, which was employed by the drum as a splatter. Annotation: like a bouncer, but trolls use more force. "Evening, detritus. Just showing the new lad the ropes." The troll grunted and waved a crusty arm. I think we can end the reading there now. That's page 81. Holy moly. How long is this book? It's 411 pages. Jesus. It is a pocketbook, though. It's a paperback. Oh, that was a good reading. Stretch. Oh, I don't know. What do you guys want me to do? What should I do? Should I play a game? Should I play like a game mahjong? I know I keep saying mahjong, but people say mahjong. I guess it should be mahjong, really. Got marbles in stream. I haven't done that in a long time. Oh, my eyes are itching. Sorry. There's a lot of dust in my room right now from all the books. I dug this out from a bookshelf. What else could we play? Uno. The Witness. It's not a really complicated puzzle game. Ugh, no. Oh yeah, we can do a little bit of World of Horror. Let's try out World of Horror. Let's try out. We do a little World of Horror. Let's just give it a try. I haven't played that in like forever. Do you guys know about it? It's pretty cool. I'm just gonna close the window, the browser. We're gonna start World of Horror. Oh, let me turn off the music too. Where's the music? Hold on. Oh, there we go. let me get the game. I've played this once a really, really long time ago, so I don't really remember how it plays. Let's see here. A new story, I guess. Would you like to customize your next playthrough's look? There are many color palettes and display modes to choose from. 2-bit or 1-bit? Okay, look at one. Wait, 1-bit or... Huh? I think these colors are nice, right? Oh, 2-bit allows you to have two colors. Okay. Oh! Ew. This is horrible. Okay, I kind of like this. I kind of like this color. This is nice. If it's your first time playing World of Horror, it is recommended that you start with the spine-chilling story of School Sisters option before trying more complex playthroughs. A tiny section of a standard playthrough showcasing one of the available mysteries. Okay. City of Shiokawa, Japan, 1980X. Something strange is happening in our town. This is like Uzumaki. I don't like the Virtual Boy play. Yeah, they gave people migraines. This is like Uzumaki. Robed figures can be seen gathering in the woods at night. People are going missing. Disgusting creatures are terrorizing the seaside. The rapid technological progress of the modern era brings comfort, but also new, unknown threats. Old gods, malicious eldritch beings who ruled the earth eons ago, are awakening as reality starts to crumble. Armed with clues, spells, and your own dwindling sanity, you'll investigate mysteries across the city and in realms beyond. I haven't played this since this was in Greenlight, I think. An old train slows down and stops at its last station. The end of the world is at hand, and you finally arrived in the doomed town. Oh gosh! Welcome to the World of Horror. Important messages will appear here. You found a new item, Straight Racer. You found a new item, Taiyaki. What's a Taiyaki? Is this me? I guess this is me. Items. I have a Straight Racer. One hand. Ooh, that's kind of scary. Oh god. Okay, Straight Racer. What's a Taiyaki? Oh, it's one of those bean fishes. I hate these. These are so gross. I hate the red bean fish. What's this? Do I just close it with this one? Okay. I still have a Taiyaki. The story so far. You've been following the weird cult for weeks now, barely surviving the encounter with the skin hag at the nursery. It's a race against time and you can't rest until our town is safe. Okay, let's start the mystery. This music is horrifying. Ew! Spine-chilling story of School Sisters. Another boy from your school has disappeared. Rumor has it a terrible woman has returned from the grave. A woman with the widest smile. I know this story! This is like, isn't this like a Uzumaki story with and the sharpest scissors? He knew your friend was up to something when he left you his notebook full of cryptic notes. I can send her back where she belongs, he claimed. After he too disappeared, you decided to study the notebook for clues. It details a ritual that claims to stop the wicked woman once and for all. What's the worst thing that could happen? We're gonna investigate this mystery. Don't say what's the worst thing that could happen. It's literally inviting the worst thing to happen. The school is eerily quiet at this hour. Your missing friend has left your notebook. If the rumors are true, to stop the tall woman with scissors, you'll need to perform a ritual to force her material form to appear in our dimension. Accomplishing this requires first the drawing of an eldritch sigil, and then the lighting of a holy candles. You can only hope your friend has left them somewhere around the school. Can I check out the school lockers? Oh, cool. Symbols. Oh, God. Okay. Did that hurt me? Did I get wounded? Status. Okay, never mind. Wait, status. Are these like where I'm wounded? I don't get it. Okay, what about this? Oh, okay, baseball bat. Nice. Can we? Wooden bat. Better? Even better. Okay, this is damage. I'm gonna. Oof. Okay. What is B? Straight Racer. Damage 4, speed 90, and this is damage 4, speed 80, chance to hit 70, and the chance to hit with the Straight Razor is 80? The Straight Razor is better than the baseball bat. One-handed, but I guess the baseball bat is two-handed. Well, let's go with the Straight Razor for now. This is better. Avoid unnecessary cuts. This is better, isn't it? You need a tiny key to open this locker. Inside a locker, you find a baseball bat. Feeling you might need it later, you decide to pick it up. Okay, well, I still got it, right? Okay, how do I go somewhere else? Okay, I need a tiny key to open this. How do I... Status, options... Extra math displayed. Oh, Jesus Christ. Should I keep it at larger? Okay, it took a point of mind. I love this game. Completed it twice, in fact. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, I will do. Absolutely. Thank you, Edie. I really appreciate it. Should I have the extra information? Is this readable? Is this like visible to everybody? If I do this, there's gonna be stuff hidden by the chat, so I'll keep it to this. Oh, this is the arrow. Okay. Let's explore the school. Access my storage. Friend's diary. Okay, let's see here. This sigil can weaken the demon for a while. Careful with the lines. 14, 15. Where's 16? Oh, hold on. Oh no, wait. Can I move this thing? I've hidden the candles in one of the classrooms. Tomorrow I will try to perform the ritual. Mary is acting strange. I need to talk with her after class. I hope she didn't attempt the ritual herself. A strange tall woman has been following me all day. Okay. So that's the sigil. So we got the diary. Okay, let's explore the school. I need to find a classroom with the candles in it. As you enter the school gym, you notice a strange black doll propped up against the wall. Come closer. Oh! Against your better judgment, you approach the doll. What you see makes you gasp in horror. The doll isn't a doll. Your sudden movement causes tiny black spiders to flee, revealing a white half-eaten corpse. Ew! Ew, ew, ew. Oh, ah. I feel like something horrible is happening within the school. Yeah, no shit. Someone was being eaten by spiders in the gym. Yeah, I must hurry and find those items. Yeah, no shit. No, that's not tasty. I mean, the spiders would be tasty, I guess. Okay, wait, I guess I gotta keep exploring because there's no items in here for me to look. You hear a faint sound. Oh no. You hear a faint sound while walking outside the biology classroom. Inside is an old anatomy model. Its heart's beating. The sight almost makes you sick. They were dead before the spiders got there. Okay. You found an additional page from your friend's diary. It seems that the blessed chalk was left in the pool. You must hurry and find it. How do I get... Okay. Peek outside. Open the door, click on the handle, and drag the mouse to the mouse button. Okay. You shouldn't risk that again. No, you know what? No, I don't think I will. That was scary. How do I get to the pool? You enter the damp-smelling sport wing. You notice a backpack drifting on a swimming board in the middle of the pool. Could it be what you were looking for? Yeah, let's enter the water. Enter the pool and start swimming towards the backpack. Suddenly the water turns murky and you realize you're not alone in the pool. Combat. A bloated figure emerges from the murky water, blocking your only way out of the pool. Bloated teacher. During each turn, you'll build a sequence of attacks and moves from the action ring B. I guess this is the action ring. Once you fill the sequence bar C, press the launch sequence button to finish your turn. The sequence bar is C. What's C? Okay, fill the combo sequence white bar with combo sequences and click the launch sequence to attack your enemy. Okay. Oh, he grows. How do I cut him? Can I not cut him? I guess I gotta punch him. Kick. Wait, no. Hold on. I don't have time. Why can't I use the knife on him? Okay, here we go. Wait, offensive action? Oh, like items and stuff. Okay. I missed. Oh no. Oh no. Attack with my weapon? Okay, here we go. Yeah, fuck you. I'm gonna stab you. Last combat move? What do you mean? Can't I... Why can't I launch the... Oh! Oh! Look for an improvised... I don't want to look for an improvised weapon. With time, you'll discover new combat moves available through action filter. But first, you need a weapon. Find it. I have a weapon! Okay, launch sequence. Here we go. Oh no, he attacked me again. I'm gonna die. It's tutorializing me. Okay. Look, a new item has appeared. A branch. That's shit. Select the item with your cursor and open this item submenu, then select the equip button. But it's bad. I don't want it. Okay, equip. And okay, so now I do offensive action. And next attack is a guaranteed hit. Okay, then let's do this. Yeah, think that, you stupid bloated teacher. Oh boy, I'm not doing so well. Okay, up and up. Oh no, I missed again. Ooh, I'm bleeding. Okay, let's do that again. Oh wait, what if a strong attack? And then, okay. Yeah, got him! Bloated teacher's dead. I defeated bloated teacher. You found Blessed Chalk, which you can use to draw the sigil in your ritual. You copy the sigil as best you can on the blackboard. Hopefully it will be enough. Okay, redraw the sigil. Hold on. Friend's diary. It has... Okay. Wait, okay, so what is... Oh, hold on. Isn't that the... Okay, I gotta get the little... Didn't it look like that? It had this thing on it, right? It should be correct now. No, it's not. This is how it looks, right? Yeah. Okay, I got it. Okay, what do we do now? Perform the ritual. Ritual's not ready. What do you mean it's not ready? Hopefully it will be enough. Oh, I need to find the holy candles. Okay, explore school. A tall woman with an unsettling face and twitching lips stop you?
I'll be your new biology teacher. Could you help me move some stuff to my new office?
I'm gonna help her. Luck check failure. The creepy substitute teacher hands you a dusty old biological specimens. The rancid smell of formalin almost makes you drop the jar. Should fetuses have some... Why is she giving me a fetus? Oh my god. Okay. Sound of scissors is getting louder. No! I gotta... Okay, I'm gonna help her this time. No, I failed again! You found the holy candles in your friend's backpack. You lit them as instructed by the notebook. Everything is ready for the ritual. Okay, perform the ritual. Wait, I'm gonna eat the taiyaki first. I need to get my health back. Does it actually do it? Oh no, it just gives me one reason. Okay, that sucks. Okay, straight razor. This one. Branch. This is a one-handed. So. Wait, B? Straight razor. Chance to hit 80. Wooden bat, chance to hit 70. Branch, chance to hit 70. Let's go with the straight razor, it's better. Okay, let's perform the ritual. Wait, what's that? Uh-oh. Continue. You take a step back as a writhing amorphous mass. Oh god, as it takes shapes. Soon it becomes a tall woman-like creature with 3 faces, all connected by a wide smile. Now it is your chance to fight and defeat this horror. It is also your only chance. Twisting and twitching, the demon woman enters the classroom, cackling menacingly. Am I beautiful? Oh god. Yeah, this is like an old Japanese, like, scary thing. Defensive action. Dodge. Hey, a Finland simulator. Hi, Momomo. How you doing? Is this a Finnish game? I have no idea. Attack boost. And then we do attack with your weapon. Oh, okay, let's do this then. 3 attacks. Up yours. Yeah, -8 health. Oh my god. Okay, I'm almost dead. Base chance to hit 64%. How you doing, Mama? Hello. I was reading, I was gonna say One Piece, Homestuck. I was reading, what's it called? I was reading Discworld. Yeah! No! Am I beautiful? Frozen in fear, you watch as she gets closer. Her sharp scissors are slowly cutting through your cheeks as she asks you. Oh boy, I perished. Caused a death killed by a scissor woman. Level 1 difficult level cultist. Equipped straight razor. Wall of Horror summoned old god. Incoming doom 5%. Chosen timeline A. Yeah, so, well, you're not my type. Oh yeah, that's the original. That's the original thing you had to say. Like, you're not my type. Lasted 16 minutes. In this run, you didn't complete any new mysteries. You saw 5 new events. You encountered 2 new enemies. You didn't unlock any achievements. She killed me! Rip. Ripperoonie. Naka. Sekai. This is... Ooh. Man, I used to be able to... I feel like I should be able to read that. Okay, new story. I'm going to do it again. Let's get another color. This is a nice color. This is a nice color. Continue. Extracurricular activities. I love these old swimsuits. They have these old swimsuits. They're very, very classic. Okay, let's do this one again. Yeah, we saw this one. Okay, the sharpest scissors. Let's see this mystery. Okay, we gotta find let's see. Friend's diary. Look at the ooh, it's a different symbol now. Okay, and we have the straight razor. Equip that one. And we go back and we check out the school lockers. It's a baseball bat. Okay, we got that. I need a tiny key to open that. Okay, but I'm not going to open this thing again because it did damage to me last time. Explore school. Look at him go. Look at him go. I'm just in the corridors. Ew, 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 ew. It was the walking body thing again. Gotta keep moving. Schmoving. No, I know. No, I know. Can I not look at that thing? Yeah. Gross. I found an additional page. The busted chalk was left on the roof. Okay, I'm gonna peek outside. Hello? Hello? That was scary. Okay, let's explore school. Isn't that the wasn't that on the roof? You find the girl your friend was talking about. In one hand, she holds a bag, in the other, pair of bloody scissors. Marked by the scissor lady. Okay, gotta find her. Boom, 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 boom. I kicked Maru. Oh, it's Maru. Oh my god, she's been cut by the thing. Okay. I don't need to look for a weapon. Improv. Broken bottle? Oh my god. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Here we go. 65 to hit. Wait, no. Hold on. If I have 50 left, then I might just as well add. There we go. Maybe I... Wait, hold on. How much are these? 115. Nope. Ooh, turn 4. Okay, one more. Got her. Got her. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, I love the old creepy Japanese ghost stories. They're always so weird. They really... Have you seen... Okay, my least favorite is... Like, the most horrifying Uzumaki story is when they go out for a photo shoot with, like, a model, and one of the models is just super fucking scary. And it's like, she's a monster, she's a monster, she's a monster. And then it turns out she's actually a monster. Who could have guessed? Okay, we got a circle with a triangle. The triangle. Go with the triangle. Okay, and then Prince Diary has... Can barely see that. Can barely see what it is. Is it this? No? This. It's this thing. Right? Yeah, it's this. This is what it's supposed to be. And it's a triangle pointing down. Okay. Let's go find the candles. I think we're doing pretty good. We got decent... Oh. No. Oh, no. Oh, I insist. Okay, I help her? The creepy substitute teacher hands you some old books to carry. Among the mundane titles, you find one called Extinction of Mankind. You shudder, feeling the teacher's gaze on your back. But I did succeed with my luck checks. That's good. Uh-oh, sound of sisters getting closer. This game is cool. It's creepy, but cool. No, my stamina! Okay, everything is ready for the ritual. Let's perform it. What is that? What is that? Continue. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, I can fight her. Am I beautiful? Actually, let me equip the straight racer first. Oh no, I can't do it! Ah! What about a bat? Can I equip the bat? Oh no, I don't have time to change. Oh no. Okay, fine. Fine. It's time to die. Crazy. Hold on. Are there other... How much is dodging? That's 115. Meditate? Ooh. Cost 2 stamina. Race for impact 109. You should be able to chuck them though. Oh, I can throw them at her? Cool. Combat skill. What is stamina? Oh, okay. This is a one-time use only. Oh, what is this? Okay. Spiritual actions. Clap. 5 bows and clap. Bow. Part of the ritual. Most common rituals. Ooh, ooh. Okay, so I do 5 bows and a clap. So, oh, wait, what is this then? How do I throw things? Is it? Or maybe, yeah, maybe I can chuck it at her. No, maybe not. On the page of the inventory, okay, storage. No, no, I don't think I can throw it at her. Okay, well, here we go. I missed. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her. Oh, what about the prayer? Wait, what was the spiritual one? Is this the spiritual one? Clap. Bow, clap, bow, maybe? Bow, clap. Oh, it's bow. Wait, hold on. It's bow, clap, bow, isn't it? Bow, clap, bow. And pray. No, launch sequence. Did I do it right? Nothing happens! It only works on ghosts! Oh no! Only on ghosts! Hi, Mortis. Are you the first one here? Thank you. The walls are covered in blood. Okay, gotta go. Gotta get her. Gotta kill her. Oh, I got her. No, she killed me. No, she killed me again. Hi, Mortis. How you doing? I'm gonna drink a little bit. Thank you. See, that only works on ghosts. Okay, we are not stopping the stream until we beat her. So, oh, my eyes. Okay, this is cool. Nice. Okay, we can skip this. I'm gonna set up so I can skip combat tutorial because I don't need that. Combat tutorial off. There we go. Oh, thank you for the head pat. Thank you for this. How you doing? Are you enjoying life? Is your Sunday going okay? Thank you so much for the head pat, Smoke. Also, there we go. Back to the game. I'm gonna investigate this mystery. So, lockers, baseball bat. That's apparently always the same. Storage, friend's diary. You're fine. Okay. Oh, Weedabed, you want me to suggest a manga or anime for you? Okay, so I've been watching BNA lately. I don't know if you watched it before. It's on Netflix. It's made by Studio Trigger. They're super good. This is one of my favorite studios. They did Kill la Kill, and they've done they actually did Delicious in Dungeon too, or Dungeon Meshi, which is very different from their usual style. But they made BNA is about a girl who turns into a beast man. She turns into a tanuki person, and she has to escape to a town called Anima City where all the beast people live. And she has to find out why she turned into a tanuki and go back to being a human. And it's really fun. I'm 5 episodes in. It's very silly, but also really cute and very wholesome, and I like it. I can strongly recommend it. It's very good. I liked it a lot. Okay, so this is the rich. Oh, okay. Well, that's not too hard. I know how to do that one. Let's explore the school. Investigating classroom. Ew. Can I do anything on these screens? I don't think. Okay, well, let's keep exploring. I don't want to help you. I'm gonna decline. Oh no, stop grabbing. No. Okay, I'll help her. I lost stamina. Less chocolates left on the roof. Okay, peek outside. Ooh. Hello? Hello? Why is the sky changing in the background? You can come on, it's safe. It's safe outside. Every time! Thank you for the stretchies. Thank you. Ah, it felt good. Every single time it does that, I hate it. Something's wrong. Instead of a clear blue sky, you see the bloated corpse of a long-forgotten deity looming over the school's roof. The barrier between worlds is coming apart. You must hurry, or risk being noticed by whatever other eldritch horrors still lurk there. I'm gonna try to sneak. I failed. You raise your head in time to see Achtgolacht's single eye glaring down at you. You scream as your mind is flooded with forbidden knowledge, and your skin is etched with ancient runes and curses. Okay? Okay? Never assume you're safe in this game. Lesson learned, I guess? See, it's this thing. What happened? I didn't lose any health from it, though. Spells. Nope, I don't know any spells. Straight Racer is the weapon I got equipped. I got Blessed Chalk. Now I just need to explore the school. I need to find the candles. No, I don't want it! Stupid corpse in the gym. Schoolyard. I'll be your new biology teacher. Could you help me? Yes. Yes! Okay, I got XP. I got 25 EXP. Okay, let's do the ritual. I got the straight race. Heckin' gym cook. Exactly. Just getting all up in my grill. Okay, now how do I throw things at her? Can I? I don't need more stamina. I mean, I need more stamina, not more strength. I mean, mind. Reason. I feel like dying after strenuous exercise. Ooh, I hope you feel better soon. That's good though. Good job with the training. I'm proud of you. You did good. I'm proud of you. So 3 of these. Oh, nice. That's 12 damage straight up the bat. Oh, got her. Nice. Assault combat. Fuck you, scissored woman. The ancient horror lies dead on the classroom floor, slowly dissolving into nothingness. You find your friend, gravely wounded but alive. You help him up, and both of you limp away from the school as the police sirens get louder. Spine-chilling story of school sisters ending A. Your playthrough lasts 5 minutes 35 seconds. That's not the only mystery played in this town. You must continue your investigation. Incoming Dune only 4%? Why is he dead? Why does he have the dead things on him? He's not dead. It's a joke about the corpse in the gym. Oh! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Well, we can try to play a little bit more. We can do another story. Let's keep this green. It's a lucky green. Customers playthrough quick play. Extracurricular activity. Well, we did this one. Standard skeptic playthrough for you, allowing you to start the game without worrying much about in-depth stuff for now. Okay. Well, we already got this opening. Ktak Aturas is once again awakening from its slumber. Blinded by its impossible to satisfy hunger, it has started to tear down the walls of its cocoon prison. Stop it before it devours all. Old gods rule. If you can't escape from common encounters. Backstory, World of Horror. Character exclusive perk cards only. Okay. Oh, I'm cute. Look at me. Welcome to World of Horror. Important messages will appear here. So do I go to the lighthouse or my home? I don't want to go home. Well, you check your mailbox. Oh. Okay. It's empty. You are not currently investigating any weird mystery. Recent newspaper clippings and notes collected in the next room should point you in the right direction. Choose an action. Change clothes. That's a nice movie poster. Okay. Looking good. Okay. Gym clothes. Ooh. Teacher's pet. Yeah, let's go with the school uniform. No, she's not wearing a school uniform. Watch TV. Take a peep through the people. I feel like these are bad things to do, like not very smart. So, okay, starting a mystery. Inexplicable and morbid events have been plaguing your town for some time now. You've marked down 5 of them, hoping that there's something connecting them. You can tackle these 5 mysteries in any order you want. Beware your decisions will haunt you and influence yet unsolved mysteries. Curious Case of Contagious Coma. Chilling Chronicle of a Crimson Cape. Spine-chilling Story of School Scissors. Let's go with this one. Let's go with the School Sister ones. We already know how to do this. Another boy from your school has disappeared. Rumor has it a terrible woman has returned from the grave, a woman with the widest smile and the sharpest scissors. Okay, yeah, we know this one. Okay, accomplish this requires first the drawing of an elder's sigil and then the lighting of holy candles. You can only hope your friend has left them somewhere around the school. Bathing for extra help. Oh, I should have done that. Okay. Okay, I'm still getting the same. I'm not going to open this thing. We have a baseball bat. I'm going to equip that. There we go. I don't like those sounds. Very compressed. Okay, explore school. Putting your hand in that hole was a bad idea. Seeing the big spider escape, you hope it wasn't poisonous. Oh no! I got an injury! What does that mean? What does it mean I have an injury? Old God. Ew! It's gross. Me. Town status. What does I have an injury mean? Okay. I feel like something horrible is happening within the school. You must hurry and find those items. Wait, why is it suddenly so dark outside? You stand by the window to take a look. Black smog emerges from the courtyard, coating everything in an oily vapor. Should I observe the smog? I'm gonna observe the smog. Sludgy vapors rise slowly upwards, forming a perfect spiral. You back away from the window, surprised by this curious phenomena. Okay, I got... you found initial play. It's blessed chocolate stuff from the roof. Let's peek outside. You need a funny polishman for this game. I never... Oh. Oh. Fuck it. Okay, never mind. Oh! Okay, okay. Does that actually... that doesn't seem to do anything to me. So that's okay. That's just like a thing you can do. Does it ever actually do anything good? Uh-oh. Instead of a clear blue sky, you see the bloated corpse of a long-forgotten god. I'm gonna run this time. You raise your head in time to see Yolach's single eye glaring at you. You scream as your mind is flooded with forbidden knowledge and your skin is etched with ancient runes and curses. No! I got a curse. Curse signs? Casting spells raises doom. Okay. I got a bite. Hopefully it'll go away on its own. Am I gonna get spider powers? Is that what's gonna happen? Okay, let's go explore school. You hear a chipper voice shout during a jog around the area. Takahashi! You turn your head to see another one of your teammates in casual clothing smiling, blissfully unaware of everything going on. What's up, Captain? Notice anything weird recently? She shakes her head, throwing up her hands in a shrug. What makes you ask? Something wrong? You tell her not to worry about it too much. You part ways shortly after that. Okay. Well, nothing bad happens, I think. Uh-oh. Forbidden knowledge? I'll take 2. The corridor is flooded by black sludge that's slowly oozing from underneath the door of the chemistry classroom. A damp, moldy stench grows as you get closer. How are you going to get to the other side? I'll risk going through. You're too late to keep something from biting your ankle. It's not bleeding badly, but you worry about an infection if the black sludge gets into the wound. Oh no! Oh no, no, no! Oh, I got an infected wound, and I got tiny cuts. Oh no! Okay, perform the ritual. Uh-oh. God, I hate that sound so much. Amputation. I'm not gonna cut off my foot! Am I beautiful? Oh no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I did the sigil wrong. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm fucked. I'm so fucked. RNG not being kind. No, it really isn't. I am so fucked. Yay! The enemy seems to be weak against this type of weapon. Oh, that's good. Fuck you, sister woman. You should be dead by now. What the frick? Die. No, I missed. Uh-oh, uh-oh. I got her. I got her. The ancient horror lies dead in the classroom floor, slowly dissolving into nothingness. The only trace left of her is large scissors. You stare at them, unsure what to feel. Something tells you you want to keep them. You need them. Very slowly, you pick up the scissors and your mouth widens in a smile. Spine-chilling story of school scissors, ending B. Oh no! Does that mean I'm gonna become her? 30 plus experience, there's still hope, -5 doom, tireless, plus 1 reason, stamina. Time passes 1 day. Okay. Scissors Woman is gone for good, or is she? You shudder, knowing the urban legend will inspire another kid in another city to try and summon the eldritch being. She's literally me, for real, for real? No, whoa, the old god stir. A weird epidemic keeps staff at the hospital busy. Skipping the line will cost you more. Winds of plague. Okay, let's, how about we... Inside your mailbox, you find a small key. What's it doing there? I could have really used that before I went to the school. Let's take a little bath. Let's take a bath. The shower will help you calm down and do wonders for your sore muscles. What temperature should you set it to? Hot water. You are not currently... Okay, do I have wounds still? How do I check my, items status? Ooh. -1 dexterity, -1 perception. Tiny cuts, no effect. More annoying than anything. Like a cursed sign. Charred skin forms weird sign. Okay, we're gonna take a peep through the peek hole. Okay, nothing there. TV. Demolition of an old inner-city shrine has resulted in an array of unfortunate accidents, and most recently, the death of 6 people suspected of arson. Choose an action. Okay. Okay, no, never mind. Okay, we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do one more mystery. Tragic tale of the thaumaturgy teacher. So I have done some of these before. Apparently, I have no memory of this game. 2B used to be one of the most outstanding classes in school. Now the only outstanding thing about them is their giant ass and boobs. 2B, get it? At least before their teacher's disappearance. Investigate this mystery. Following a rumor, you visit a house of a schoolgirl who acted really strange in class. The girl's parents sit crying in the living room and fearfully point you upstairs. The Legion lesson. Investigate downtown twice to complete this quest. Wait, how do I... Schoolyard, library, investigate school... Travel to apartment? What? What am I supposed to do here? I can go to the hospital. Okay, but... What am I... Okay, travel to the hospital? I want to see what's up with the girl. Can I not see what's up with her? Oh, to cure illness? Okay. Hospital. Enter... Heal injuries. Okay. Many sick people are waiting to be examined by the overworked hospital staff. You still have some time before you ask to the office. I'm not gonna move to... I'm gonna enter the doctor's office. How can I help you today? Okay. The emergency department is crowded as direct result of the weird things happening in town. Okay. Infected wound, surgery. Blood loss. Minus 10 max stamina? Okay. Cool. I'm anemic. Nice. Okay, we're gonna investigate downtown. Downtown. Investigating restaurant. It's getting dark as you arrive at the cemetery, and shadows move in fantastic and unaccountable ways between the tombstones. Finding the right grave may prove to be a challenge, especially when you feel someone's gaze is on your back. Confront the stranger. You whirl around and see who's behind you. Luckily, the other person is a kind old lady who points you to the tombstone you were looking for. Under a stone, you find a note someone left for you. What do I do with the EXP? Do I, like, hit a level up at some point? Or... Oh yeah, level up. I don't have enough experience. Oh, I need 10 more. Okay. Under stone, you find a note someone left for you. Okay, we're gonna investigate downtown again. The only metro line in your town connects the university and the science complex. You could take a ride to gain some time, but you got a feeling something is wrong. Where are all the people? I'm gonna take a ride. Something is clearly wrong. There are no lights inside the metro car, and all you can see are the countless handprints pressed into the window. -2 reason. Okay. Climbing a tree, you get a better view of the class. Weird schematics of some portal drawn on the blackboard could help in the future. Okay. But how do I visit the girl? Do I go to, like, apartments? Investigate apartments? Or, like, they're telling me I could check out the girl, but I guess I can't do that. Home? Oh, okay. So if you go from 20-something Becky to 30-something Karen. Ooh, nice. Nice. Forest. Village. Oh, I don't want to go to the village. Mansion. Seaside. Hardware shop. How many funds do I have? Level 1, EXP 92. I guess I'm going to investigate the school. Investigate the gym. Go to the circle, look. Oh, you entered the workshop. The room is cluttered with half-finished sculptures and bizarre masks hanging on the wall. One sculpture strikes you as eerily realistic. I'm going to check it out. The head of one sculpture looks so lifelike. You move closely and raise your hand nervously to touch it. It falls off. A headless person stumbles out of the sculpting classroom and it's reaching for your head. Oh no! Oh no! I'm gonna cut it. I mean, I'm gonna bash its head in with my baseball bat. Boom. Boom. Don't! It's grabbing me by the neck. No! Stop! Stop! Oh no! Okay. Well, it should be dead soon, right? Or not? Come on, die. Got it. Yay, we'll level up. Bonk. You advance to the next experience level. Choose one perk and one stat upgrade. Perk? Oh, these are the perks. Discipline, art knowledge, and fast swimmer. I'm gonna go with discipline. Regains 1 stamina for all successful event skill checks. And we're gonna raise luck with 1. What's my luck? Is it F and D? No, just raise my luck. Doink. Boink. Haha. That was good. Okay, so I gotta go to apartments. Okay. Oh, it's always good to level up stamina. Excuse me, do you have a moment to talk about our real Lord and Savior? The day of reckoning is coming, says the voice on the other side of the line. You definitely don't like the way the man on the other side of the line puts an accent on real. Hello, are you still there? I'm gonna listen to the man. You learn some useful bits of information about your nemesis. However, if everything the man said was the truth, humanity's doomed. I lost a bunch of reason. Okay. She sits in her bedroom in a bloodstained uniform, a dead rat lying in her hands. Asked why she killed it, she just grins. Ooh, I don't like this. You find an envelope lying on a pillow in your bedroom. Inside is cash and a note from someone who has been watching you. They wish you luck in your task and promise to meet you soon. Just how did this envelope end up in your bedroom? Another lead. The former teacher of the class may prove more useful. Knocking on the door, however, gets you no answer. Just subtle chittering behind the door. Do I need to travel to the village? Okay, here. Can I heal up before I do? Can I heal my recent any? before I do that. Ah, fuck it. Let's go. Village. An old priest is performing a ritual to appease a local demon imprisoned underground. You're invited to join them. Sure? Distracted by a huge man wearing a demon mask, you have trouble following the intricate patterns of steps, bows, and claps. The ritual is a disaster. Oh no, I'm sorry. A little boy from the school has been attacked by his classmates. Okay. Hospital. When the patient came home one morning covered in scars and babbling about aliens, the police had them committed. They're mumbling something quietly as you pass by. I'm gonna talk to them. I keep failing. You try reasoning with them to tell you what really happened, but it doesn't work. It takes 2 nurses to calm them down after they roughed you up. Oh no! You find him in the hospital covered in bites. Just what is with this whole summoning us? He speaks of between his sobs. Okay, we are gonna investigate the hospital. Sick room. You are stopped by 2 nurses. Ready to apologize and explain yourself, you notice their weird smiles, dead stares, sharp knives. Oh no! Anomaly attendant and corpse caregiver. Well, unfortunately for you guys, I got a baseball bat. Oh goodness. They attack me? Okay. Well, these are not ghosts, so prayers will not help me. I'm just gonna beat the shit out of them. Actually, we can do this, and oh, there we go. And the second attack will definitely strike. Okay, and now we go boom and boom, bam. There's one of them died. One of them died. Nice. Bam. Come on, corpse caregiver. I ain't afraid of you. I ain't afraid of no. Oh. Oh, I killed him. Wait, what's that? I got a steak knife. Hell yeah. Okay, steak knife. Speed 72, damage, chance to hit 70. That's worse. Oh. I didn't realize I had the cursed scissors. Nice. These are good. I'm gonna use the cursed scissors. Okay, so now we go to school. With no other ideas, we decide to wait outside the school itself. A weird bubbling sound lures you to the dark shower room. On the floor, you find a swimsuit thrown over a grotesque leathery coil. Wait, that's not a coil. Drain swimmer? What the Okay, 66. So if we do... And then this. Okay. But I can do it 3 times. Let's do that. Oh, holy moly. This is very good. Got her. Nice. My sisters. I defeated the drain swimmer. The faint chanting doesn't stop and no one enters or leaves the building. When is this gonna end? I'm gonna die. Despite your best efforts, you feel like the neighborhood is starting to change. Location's threat levels increases. Oh no. You hear a scream coming from the school. It's time to enter. Investigate the classroom. Okay. I have one reason? I have one reason? You sneak in through a window and skulk across the shadowy corridor. All the classrooms have emptied out. Peering into one, you spot the corpse of a teacher nailed to the chalkboard. Shaking, you approach it. You spot an odd bulge protruding from his stomach. It writhes against your fingers as you probe it. Oh dear. Suddenly, the teacher's chest rips apart, showering the classroom with gore. From within, a child coated in meat and intestines leaps out, screeching with joy. Ew! 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 Okay. Die. How about you die? Oh, enemies weakens this type of damage? Oh no. Okay, well. Oh, I got her. I killed her. I killed her. As you near the gym hall, the chanting and rhythmic drums grow louder, threatening to intoxicate you. You creak the door open and stifle a scream. The entire school is gathered around the huge portal surrounded by black candles. From within, the bellowing of the beast being summoned echoes. The teachers stand at the front, covered in a purple robe, her true form revealed. That's a vagina. Okay. Shiokava School. This enemy is so massive that this attack won't cause any damage. What am I? Okay. Can I run away? How am I supposed to find this? The school shakes? Learn about your enemy? Okay. And prayer? No prayer. Clap, clap, no. Bow, bow, clap, clap, bow. Okay. School building has become portal to another place. Close it before it's too late. Okay, that did nothing. I got the ritual, 3 ritual moves right. Okay, so what if we do... clap, clap, bow, bow, clap. I'm badly bleeding. Okay, I'm not gonna survive this. Clap, 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 bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Ritual was too long to have. Oh my god, I'm so dead. I'm so dead. Bow, bow, bow. Clap, clap. I got 1 move right. Okay. Clap, clap, clap. Bow, bow. 4 ritual moves, right? Okay. Clap, clap, clap. Bow, clap. Oh no. Okay. Clap, clap. Bow, bow. Bow. I got 3 ritual moves. No special skill. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Wait. Huh? I forgot what I did. Clap, 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 bow. Clap, 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 be happy. Clap, clap, clap. Oh, the ritual will only work on ghost enemies. Okay, I can't even attack the teacher? Okay, attack teachers? School shakes, okay, attack teachers. Wait, what if we do... Yeah, fuck you! Okay, let's do that. Let's keep killing teachers. Yay! I defeated the school! Okay. With her dying scream, the teacher throws herself into the portal. Her vicious master shows no mercy. You hear it devour her before the connection shuts. Yay! I did it! Roads leading out of town were closed by the police. You'll have to find a new way out. Oh god, this is super stressful. I can't play this anymore. I wanna do a stream playing this. I feel like I don't really know how the game works yet, so it's a little difficult, but that was a lot of fun. So, we're gonna be raiding. We're gonna be raiding someone. Thank you everyone for dropping by. This was a really nice, comfy end of the week, and I'm gonna be streaming on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I'm gonna be painting minis, and I hope you wanted to drop by. I really appreciate it. Forties, thank you! Thank you for the bits. It's really nice. Thank you. It's really sweet of you. Oh my gosh. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You're a good bean. Let's raid Inky, the Traveling Inquisitor. We haven't raided him in a long time, and he's a good bean. Traveling Inquisitor. And we're gonna have a raid message. Thank you very much for the bits. I really appreciate it. Okay, so the raid message is going to be raid. There we go. And stonks. Thank you everybody for coming. I really appreciate you. Bye 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 bye. Thank you everybody. See you on Tuesday. Bye bye. Bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Bye 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 bye.